Sanford TV and Existential Limited bring you the NFHS Game of the Week. Brought to you by First Bank, neighbors you can count on. And by Classic Nissan of Sanford.
Welcome everyone to Southern Lee High School here in Sanford, North Carolina, Cletus B. Gore Stadium. The kickoff of the 2025 fall football season is at hand. Chris, we've been waiting on this a long time. We've been talking about this. The story with this group is fantastic that I want to get into a little bit later. But let's first talk about the Southern Lee Cavaliers.
Let's do it. Ben Harrington, the last in a long line of Harrington.
Yes, sir.
Gets to start at quarterback. Ben is a sophomore coming in. Long lineage and family history. Great athletic family, headlined by Thomas Harrington, who's now plying his wares with the Pittsburgh Pirates. But he got his start here as the quarterback of this Southern Lee team. Ben, I'm excited to see what he's got. So we'll see. It's a new era. Fred Blanks leads this offense. This is Fred's third year at the helm, sort of pressed into service, but he's become like part of the furniture. A lot of fun to be around. High-energy guy, runs a tight program. Graduated a lot of talent over the last 2 years.
Yes, he did.
But we said for years that all these young freshmen and sophomore getting these reps, it was going to pay off. Maybe this is the year it pays off.
We'll come to find out. So few guys to watch before because kickoff is getting ready to happen. The big guy on the offensive line, number 75, Johnny Kershaw, is a sophomore, guys and girls at home, is 6'4", 310 pounds. So a big young man. More colleges coming to knock than he can talk to in one day for sure. Will definitely be leading that offensive line. On the offensive side, number 4, Gavin Schaefer was a team captain today. He's going to be coming out strong, looking to really get a good start to the season. And this running back group will be led by number 24, Jack Mitchell. Last year, the Cavaliers ran the ball pretty consistently, so interested to see what he can do in his 2025 season.
All right, Overhills comes in. They've got a change at quarterback as well. 2 quarterbacks on the roster right now, neither of whom took a snap last year, which is interesting. All right, on the return, taking it about the 15, back across the 25, out near the 30, and brought down at the 29, where the Cavaliers will take over 1st and 10.
Cavaliers going to take over, get the first offensive series of the season here, cranked up tonight. Beautiful evening here in Sanford, North Carolina. I'm not a meteorologist, but I would assume it's somewhere between 75 and 80 degrees. No real breeze to amount to anything. The sun is setting down through some clouds. Beautiful night for Friday night football.
All right, the 7A Overhills squad, the Jaguars, comes in almost like they're the 8th team in the new Carolina Pines Athletic Conference. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Harrington takes his first snap, hands, and big play in the backfield, brought down on the tackle. That is number 33, William South. Led this team in tackles last year as a junior. Averaged almost 10 a game, so keep your eyes on 33. He's got a nose for the football.
Came right through B-gap there. South really looked untouched in that explosion through the B-gap. Cavaliers going to have to seal that up.
All right, Harrington surveys under center. We don't see that from a lot of schools. Drops, looking to throw, gets it out, clean pocket, and there's a first down and more as a helmet comes off. I was trying to figure out if that was the football or a balloon, but it was a lid. And one of the, we talked about Mr. South. He's headed over to take his mandatory playoff since he lost his helmet. But the Cavaliers with a big first down out to the 42. And Harrington, success on pass number 1.
That pass was thrown to number 5. Not on our – nope. Kessler Petraka. He's the number 1 receiver on the season this year.
Whoa.
Number 9 on the carry, Jaden Blackshear Watson. He seems to have gotten the lion's share of the carries so far.
Number 53 on the tackle there, and, it's early – and we do not have a 53 in our book. We'll see if we can't do some snooping and figure out who that is so we can properly credit him.
Got to love week 1 football.
2nd and 11. Harrington pitches around the left side, looking for room. There's a flag comes in the area for holding. Loss of about a yard on the play.
Carry was had by number 9, Caden Blackshear Watson. Looked to lose about 1, but we got a flag in the territory of holding. I would imagine that one's going to come back 10 yards.
Do you decline this and bring up 3rd and 11, or do you push them back even farther? Let's see what we're going to do.
I know what I would do, but
it is declined.
They're declined.
What would you have done, Coach?
I would have taken it just to try to give myself a little bit. If you can get a stop here, you got a little bit better field position on the punt. Also puts you in, if there is a bad snap, it puts you in potential scoring opportunity right then. But nonetheless, they get paid to do this and I don't. So therefore, they're obviously right.
Was a loss of a yard on the play, 3rd and 12. Harrington under center. Drops, pressure, steps up, good composure. Now, wow. Man.
Good athletic play from Harrington.
Did I say this is his first start and he's a sophomore, or is he a, is he a senior quarterback? Man, he kept his eyes downfield, waved his receiver an instruction to go down the field, and he did, and Caden Blackshear Watson has a big reception and another first down, and I don't recognize this Fred Blank's offense.
Caden Blackshear Watson was standing there in the flats waiting for direction. There was a cornerback there splitting the distance between the quarterback and the running back. Harrington pushes him forward, and a big reception for a first down. Handoff, and looks like we're going to have a false start. That's number 20, Luke Waters, on the carry. Luke listed as a junior tight end and outside linebacker. Looks like he's getting some fullback options today. What you looking for there, buddy boy?
Well, you say Luke Waters. My roster's got Kendall Hawkins.
When did you print yours?
Half an hour ago.
I printed mine last night, so that quite possibly could have been a change.
Well, and we can't hear the PA from here, but we would trust that they have it right. Handoff into the gut, nothing doing there. Be 2nd and 5.
Fullback dive there for the Cavaliers. Just trying to push that pile up.
Well, and, there aren't too many coaches love a fullback dive as much as Fred Blanks does. So we're going to get that whether it's working or not.
Bring back the old veer with a A-gap fullback dive.
All right, here we go. 2nd and 5. Harrington drops. Looking, keeps his eyes downfield, now flings it out there, and that's dangerous, and it's caught at the 5-yard line. I think everybody else, it was one of those oh no moments, but he knew what he wanted to do.
Dangerous ball off his back foot. Harrington puts it where no one else could get it, though. That is another Cavalier.
We have us a bit of a gunslinger out there at quarterback.
Who would have thought a Harrington could throw a ball?
Wow.
I'm befuddled.
Well, Nate, we talked about, going to have an ineligible man downfield. And that's going to negate the big play and bring up 2nd and 10 as opposed to 1st and goal with the 5.
Fred Blanks with his, I will say he is the only person that I still see do this, but I love it, is running the quarterback over to the coach to get the sign, to get the call for the next play.
You love it because you're not the quarterback having to run back and forth to the sideline.
Well, for all of our viewers at home who've ever seen me on camera, I'm not much of a runner. So that is true.
All right, Harrington on 2nd down. And there's that fullback.
Fullback dive again.
Got nothing. 3rd and 10 coming up, but this hasn't bothered Harrington up to this point. He trots on over to see Coach Blank, see what they've got in store. And I would imagine they're going to let this young man fling it downfield again. Oh, we're going to get a timeout on the field. Timeout Southern. So, with 8:45 to go in the first quarter, Cavaliers on the move, trying to keep the drive alive. Down here at the 30-yard line, we'll take a quick break. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
An hour ago, Theo airballed the game-winning shot. But at Zaxby's, he's dunking all over these fools. Zax sauce, bang. Tongue torch, boom. Hot honey mustard. My man's putting on a clinic.
Welcome to Dunk City.
And one, baby.
Thanks, baby. Dude. Babe, dude.
Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
All right, welcome back to Sanford, North Carolina. NFHS Game of the Week brought to you by DeLambert Stone, attorneys at law. Nathan, you and I talked a couple days ago about young Mr. Harrington, and I told you that, he's a bit of a legend because his brothers came before him. He's got a professional athlete in the family, and it was one of those situations. You heard about the youngest brother all the time. Oh, you think they're good, just wait.
Just wait.
Big shoes to fill, but those so far looking good. His next challenge is this 3rd and 10. Down at the 30, Overhills runs a player on late. Harrington drops. Love the poise. Looking down the field, throws it across the middle, and is picked.
Picked off.
A wobbly throw. And it'll be down at the 5-yard line. It'll be Overhills' ball going the other way.
That interception looked like it was made by number 15, Braden Bryant. Listed wide receiver as a junior for the Overhills Jaguars. Apologize on that stutter. I should have known that. They were in a conference when I played here at Southern Lee High School.
So, speaking of conferences, if you look at the Overhills schedule for the first 3 weeks, they've got Southern Lee, Lee County, and Harnett Central, all of whom are members of the new Carolina Pines Conference. How many times have you ever seen that before?
Not in week 1, 2, and 3.
And, I talked to Coach Bordeaux over at Lee County, and I asked him, who set this up where Southern and Lee County both play Apex Friendship? They both play Overhills. Was that on accident? And he's like, yeah, we didn't have anything to do with it. They talked to me and said, hey, do you know anybody else that might want to play? And he's like, I don't know. Call Southern. So they did. And Southern, really, you got to admire it. Their coaches have come through this district over the years we've been doing this together, and sometimes we accuse them of, padding that early season schedule. Overhill's stiff competition. You're talking about a 7A school that's made the playoffs the last 3 years. Southern, no fear. They want to be challenged. I like this.
If there's one thing I know about Fred Blanks, he is not going to back away from a challenge.
No, sir. Bad snap.
Bad snap.
And it's into the end zone, and he's got work to do to get out of there. Flings it out of there, and no flag. The pressure was coming. Can't make out a number from here, but 3rd and 3 coming up. Or 3rd and 7, excuse me.
Out of the pocket for no intentional grounding, I guess. I thought in the end zone, though, I didn't think it mattered.
Well, this is the first start of Gabriel Valenzuela Sherman's career.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, not at all. But he had no stats posted in 2024. He's a senior. Excuse me, he's a junior. The other quarterback listed on the roster is a senior. And pressure coming, ball thrown out there. And that's over top of everybody, and Valenzuela Sherman is slow to get up.
Pressure made there by number 73 of the Cavaliers. We don't have a number.
Everybody wants to play quarterback until they got to take a lick like that, huh?
And that is a big man to be coming and whopping on you. I have to imagine that's probably Johnny Kershaw. That might be a 75, not a 73. Yeah, I do believe it is. So that was number 75, Johnny Kershaw on that, the junior offensive lineman, defensive lineman that we talked about in the pregame show. Young man with a lot of college potential ahead of him.
There's the punt. It's away. It's a short wobbling kick. Fair catch signaled at the 39, and Southern will take back over. Score still knotted at zeros. 7:44 to go on the clock. And if you're, gauging what you saw in the first drive, got to like what you see from Southern. Overhill's got some work to do. We'll see if Southern can put together a drive and punch it in here.
Harrington coming out back after that interception right there next to the end zone. Be interested to see if Fred Blanks lets him cut it loose a little bit. I hope he does. I'd love to see that young man throw the ball around.
Well, not to get ahead of myself, but we're not too far from potential field goal territory, and I'm really interested to see who's doing the kicking duties for Southern and what they look like, because an era has ended.
Are there no more McCollums, huh?
No more McCollums.
I think that might have been the highlight of last year for me. It was having Richard come up and hang out and talk to you for a while. That was
a lot of fun.
That was special.
All right. Nothing doing again on the run. Southern not able to find their way in the running game so far. Loses 2 more. So 2nd and 12. And, you know, you might question how quickly a team might be to scrap the run game and go to the air. Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon with Fred Blanks. That's number 9, Caden Blackshear Watson on the carry. Gain of about 6-7 there.
Well, they did a little something different there, and they were able to seal it off. Talk about the mechanics on that run, man.
That was a counter where you're pulling the backside tackle, coming back into blocking that interior lineman on the play side, and what that does is that gives a cutback channel, so all of your linebackers theoretically are going to wash towards the pull, and it gives a cutback channel for the running back.
3rd and 5, passes out, complete, and that'll be 7, needed 5, and that'll be a first down, Southern Lee.
That reception there by number 5, Kessler Petraka, got the Cavalier first down.
Well,
getting down close to field goal territory.
Yeah, you called it during our conversation earlier in the week. Petrarca was going to get a lot.
Ooh.
And I tell you what, 53, we don't have him in the program, and I wish we did because he is a difference maker in the middle of that line.
Big interior lineman, looks to be about 5'10", 5'11", and that young man has to be pushing 250, 260 pounds, just blowing up the Cavalier offensive lineman right now.
How much did you say?
I say 250, 260.
Okay.
What do you think? You think I'm a little light or a little heavy?
I think you're a little light.
Well, I try not to overestimate people's weight.
That's a kind thing. Well, whatever the weight is, he's using it and leveraging it well right now.
He's a big young man.
All right, Harrington drops on 2nd down, throws it out wide. Ooh, threw into double coverage. I think you'd like to have that one back, but it falls harmlessly. It'll be 3rd and 12.
It was an 8-yard post route with a 5-yard underneath out route there for the Cavaliers. Looks like a little miscommunication between the wide receivers and Harrington to see where that ball was going to go. Dangerous for that backside cornerback. Harrington into the huddle. Fred Blanks, I love his consistency and methodology with this. They are not going to go fast. That is by design, ladies and gentlemen. That is not they're just going slow. That is purely by design. Slow it down, burn some clock off. Not that time, but
whoops, play action. Now throws it late and did well to get rid of it, and it'll bring out the punting team, I would imagine. Ball placed at the 31-yard line, 4th and 12 coming up. Kind of no man's territory here, right?
Yes, it is. That's number 41 on the pressure of Harrington. Again, we do not have a name for that number on the roster, so we apologize if his mother or father or family member is watching at home. Good pressure from the young man, though.
All right. Well, I'll be doggone.
They're gonna kick a field goal.
Now, this is the Fred Blank strategy. We saw this several times last year. I don't know if you recall, Nate. He's taken advantage of the high school rules. I don't think, and I could be wrong, he didn't mind if he misses the field goal because where's the ball get spotted?
I don't remember.
At the 20.
At the 20.
And
that kick is up, and that kick looks good. That young man just had a boot on him.
47 yards.
47 yards.
I take it all back. Well, all right.
Kick is good. We haven't seen a 47-yarder here since the McCullum brothers were playing, all three of them. Great kick.
My goodness.
My goodness. Was that number 5 on the kicker? I do believe it was. That is Kessler Petrarca on the kick. That young man is doing it all tonight.
Color me impressed.
So you were saying that if it's a missed kick, they go place the ball on the 20.
Yeah, it's not a spot like it is at other levels. And we saw that strategy employed last year a couple of times where teams were kind of confused because they were lined up to kick field goals in situations you wouldn't have expected.
Right.
Well, playing the rules, you're not going to get a return on a missed field goal.
So why would you, if you're stuck back, why would you not just kick a field goal knowing you're not going to make it and then just progress it all the way to the other 20?
Fantastic question.
Because that's probably going to be better than a punt.
One might think. All right, kick is away. And over the head. This is a big leg on this young man. Into the end zone. And one of the most misunderstood rules in high school football, you can't return it out of the end zone. Once across the goal line, it's dead.
Yeah, that whole safety concussion thing.
So we get a touchback here, and Overhills will try to answer. Down 3-0, 5:13 to go in the first quarter.
This young man has a leg on him.
Yes, sir.
Put a 47-yarder through and then put it in the end zone. Good gracious. Mr. Petrarca can do it all.
So we got a change at quarterback. Out is Valenzuela Sherman, and in is Cyrus Fielding, a second quarterback who has no statistics prior to this year. He's a senior, 5'11", 180. And on his first snap, he's going to hand off, and in the backfield, a swarm of Cavaliers says, no, sir.
Tackle made there by number 28, Amari Britton, the nose tackle for the Cavaliers. Big tackle there for that young man for a loss. Makes a 2nd and 13 or 14. Looks like 14.
All right, 2nd and long coming up. Fielding back in the gun. Barking out signals, brings a man in motion. That's Jaden Goldwire. Low snap. Now he throws it laterally, and that ball is out. That's a fumble.
Stop.
Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up.
Pick it up. That is not a dead ball.
And it rolls out back at the 10. Nobody aware that that was a backward pass, and it sneaks out of bounds. Somebody's going to get a talking to over that.
That is why you play until they blow the whistle, Chris.
Third and 21. And this Southern Hills defense looking good early.
Cyrus Fielding calling in the play to his team.
Well, and if he was paying attention the last time Overhills was in a situation like this, he might realize he's not going to have a whole lot of time. Suddenly drops off. They're going to play a shell coverage, and number 4,
Darren Rogers,
can't come up with it. Didn't have much real estate in front of him to work with anyway. And again, Overhills is going to be punting from deep in their own end. Southern came after the last kick. Overhills blocked it up pretty well.
Is Overhills after the first 2 drives in a negative yardage situation?
Yes, sir, they are.
The Jaguars coach, that team led by Bernard Bacon, is not going to be happy about that.
Year 5 for Coach Bacon. And I don't know if you recall, he replaced Chris McGee back in 2021. Coach McGee went to Topsail to be the AD. And Coach Bacon came in. I remember when he took the job, watching video thinking intensity. And that's his thing. He preaches accountability and intensity. And we've seen some pretty good Overhills teams the last couple of years.
Yes, we have. We have a flag on the backside right about the 40-yard line. I'm interested to see what they threw. It's kind of thrown in no man's land. I didn't see a whole lot happening in between there. So it'll be interesting to see. It might be a sideline warning for the Jaguars. White Hat's going to come out. I don't think he's mic'd up tonight.
And no, that's not a warning.
Nope.
Going to get unsportsmanlike conduct, but they've not walked it off. I think he meant to signal for the warning. Well, now we're going to talk about it.
It's
they're
week
going to mark
one
that
for
off.
them too.
Well, the signal for the first infraction for the warning is the sort of arms forward.
It's the pushing action.
So 15 yards gifted to the Cavaliers, and now they're set up inside Jaguar territory at the 42-yard line.
Southern Lee looking to put points up here again, knowing that if you get it to the 30, you got a leg at this point.
Boy, that interior of Overhill's defensive line is not to be trifled with.
Number 42, Levante McNeil on that tackle.
6'3", 250 goes that junior.
Big young man. Overhills has always historically had big offensive and defensive linemen. It's a big school, big pool of kids. It's a really interesting dynamic of the school as well, because you have the transferring in and out from Fort Bragg, But then you also have a pretty strong residual population as well.
Yeah, Spring Lake is a lot of people settled there, and it's an interesting intersection of sort of the rural locals plus the military community. But Overhills, I was surprised. I mean, you see it, they're a 7A school, so they're in the second largest normal classification there is. They only dressed about 30 kids tonight.
Wow.
And that's surprising to me.
Reception made there by number 5, Petraka again. Gets it up to right at the 40-yard line, brings up a 3rd and 7 for the Cavaliers. That is your number 1 target as well out. So let's see who Coach Blanks has in the reservoir here.
All right, Southern got to give Harrington a little bit of time. Third and 7. Clock inside 3 minutes. Fakes out into the flat. Now rolling. Dumps it out there. There's going to be a hold and an interesting decision for Overhills to make because you potentially got 4th and a few, maybe 5, or they can back them up and make them do it again.
Let's see what they want to do here. I think I would decline this one.
I'm going to tell you I wouldn't because if watching Harrington throw those crossing routes, I think 5. I don't want to bet that I can stop it because they really haven't yet.
True.
And they don't. So they're going to back them up. 3rd and 17 coming, and we'll see what Mr. Harrington and this offense can do. There's a snap. Fakes the handoff. Now they're going to run the option, and this is a disaster. Well,
oh boy,
Nate, I'm going to make an observation.
Yes, sir.
To me, as a objective observer, it seems like it is very, very difficult for young right-handed quarterbacks to run the option to the left.
Because you're pitching with your left hand.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, and Overhills must have seen that on some scrimmage film somewhere. They had that read all day long. Nonetheless, second turnover for Harrington and the Cavaliers. Overhills taking over in Cavalier territory on the 43-yard line.
All right, Fielding still in there at quarterback. Don't know if there was an injury earlier to the starter, and that's picked.
Ooh.
Southern going the other way. He floated that out there, hung it up there. You can't throw the ball and hang it across the middle like that.
Oh, we're gonna have. There's going to be an ejection here. Number 75 from Overhills, very, very late hit Xavier Bonnier, junior defensive tackle. If that young man is not ejected, they threw a yellow flag right at him, and then he shoved a Cavalier, and a side judge threw his hat at him as well.
Well, I told you that Coach Bacon is about intensity, but also accountability. That's not going to go well for you.
That's going to be a really, really ugly Monday, I can tell you. Maybe a really ugly Saturday.
All right, we'll get this unsorted. Got a couple of flags and a hat. So what does the official do if they've expended both their flag and their hat?
You have stumped me. Harrington is out. Looks like they're calling an offense, though.
Wow.
I'm not sure what the outcome.
So blocking the back, now a personal foul, and
no ejection.
All right, so this is one of those.
Oh, it was an interception.
Where they're going to enforce the block in the back and then enforce the personal foul after that.
That will be.
And explain, Nathan, if you would, why those are not offsetting.
Those are not offsetting because one was during the play, one was after the play. And so it's two separate penalties and two separate timing areas.
And the net result is a 5-yard boost for Southern as a 10-yard versus a 15-yard, and they'll take over at the 47-yard line going the other way. Harrington, hands on first down again, and once again, number 53, who's colleges better start looking or something. They're going to have to do something different because he's feasting right now. That's 3 or 4 huge plays in the backfield. And if you track the metrics associated with his performance, he's got a whole lot more yards than the Southern Lee running backs do.
Number 53. If someone at home knows this man's name,
text
us because this young man is putting on a highlight clinic tonight.
He really is.
Kind of looking reminiscent of the old DDP days. Yeah. That interior lineman.
Well, the difference is that people knew DDP was there and they weren't going to run at him like that consistently, and Southern seems inclined just to keep running it right back at him. Harrington gets it out late off his back foot, got the ball there, little high and behind the receiver who's unable to come up with it, and we've got another third down.
We have another late flag coming in right at the 50-yard line. Looks like it's on the 49. Let's see what this is going to be.
Well, Nate,
there's your
sideline, and that's just going to be the warning here. So that indicates that the first time around it was not for sideline violation. Nate, some teams, and we see this with Lee County all the time, have a reputation, or fair or not, of playing undisciplined, going to pick up some flags, things like that. Is it fair to say Overhills comes with the same?
Yes, Overhills has historically they have always had a ton of athletes. They've always come in. You never quite knew what you were going to get with them.
All right, there's a hand on 3rd and a mile, and good yardage, and another holding call is going to wipe out a run that wound up just a hair short of the first down.
That was number 24, Jack Mitchell, on the carry for the Cavaliers. That's going to be a hold. Going to come all the way back. Hold looks to be right about the 47-yard line, so that'll march them back to the 37. Repeat 3rd down. Yeah, Overhills is always historically, for our viewers at home who might not know, I played in what was at that point in time the Cape Fear Valley Football Conference from 2005 to 2007, which I graduated. Overhills was a fairly new school at that point, and always had athletes. Always had athletes. You weren't sure if you were going to, have a good night or a bad night, though. You never quite knew. Beautiful stadium down there as well.
It really is. All right, 3rd and long. Harrington drops. Looking, rolling, and throws it away outside of the pocket. Goes down late, and I tell you what, flirting with a personal foul there as he gets stared down by the defender, but a nice play on the pursuit there by William South, who we talked about earlier, led this team in tackles last year. Overhills, there was a purge of their offensive talent last year when that class graduated. On defense, however, they return a lot of talent, and that shows in some of these individual performances so far.
33, Luke Waters there to back for the punt. Taking a head count. Yes, this Overhills defense is very impressive. At least this front four is very impressive. Linebacker core is good.
We're going to get to see him again soon.
Next week, right?
Oh, you've got me struggling, man. I
think we're
No, we've got him in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, we got him in 2 weeks. Lee County gets him. Lee County tonight on the road.
Ooh, that's a false start.
South Garner, I believe.
That sounds right. I can't remember because I think next week we're doing Apex Friendship Lee County, correct?
Yes, sir.
Southern Lee now 2 penalties on this punt. First was a delay game. Second was a false start on one of the up backs, the one closest to you on your television monitor.
And for those of you watching at home, if you can't make it out to a game, check our schedule, see what we got going on. You can always watch the game in the archive on the NFHS website. And nice return there, number 1, all the way back deep into Southern Lee territory, which forced out of bounds 32-yard line. But we put more thought, I think, than maybe we had in the past into what games we were going to broadcast this year, Nathan. And I'm kind of hyped about the whole situation, man.
I apologize. I was running around Tennessee at the time of the scheduling text messages going through, and I got to say, when I got done and read them that night about midnight, I decided not to text it being 1 hour behind. Fantastic schedule. I'm very excited about this.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Jaguars. Valenzuela, Sherman is back in there. Another flag, another flag.
Another flag. And another flag.
Another one at the end. Goodness.
Week 1 football.
These officials want to be heard.
Yeah, I think you and Mr. Chalmers and everyone involved did a great job with scheduling this year.
Well, thank you, sir.
Really, really looking forward to it. And I'm glad to be back here with you. And when Jerry gets here, glad to be here with Jerry and Wynn and Terry and everyone, the whole crew.
Yes, sir.
It is great to be back.
Under a new flagship production company now, Existential Limited. How you like that?
Existential Limited,
Yes,
huh?
sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Going to want you to deep dive onto the origin of the name at some point in time.
We'll do that. We'll do that. So our schedule will be, like you said, we'll be at Apex Friendship with Lee County next week, and then at Overhills at the stadium. You gassed up a little bit there. And then week 4, scheduling twist of all scheduling twist, we'll be at Chatham Central.
Chatham Central Northmore, right?
Yes, sir. Got a intra-county rivalry game there, but all of the – we follow Lee, Southern, and Union Pines and try to, divvy things up kind of equally, but all 3 teams are off week 4. So
there we go.
We had a couple games to choose from, and there was a debate about it, but Chatham Central, they've always been very gracious when we come down there. We're just going to take us to the end of the first quarter. 3-0 Cavaliers over the Jags. We'll be back after these messages with second quarter action. Yeah, they're not going to get this off.
No way.
There we go. All right, we'll go into a break. We'll be back with second quarter action from here in Sanford. Appreciate you hanging out with us.
All you do is win, 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 no matter what. We got you on our mind, we can never get enough. Every time you step into our building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. All you do is win, win, win. Put your hands in the air when you go there.
Visit us Sanford.com or call 1-855-461-9595. Classic Nissan Sanford.
Welcome back here to Southern Lee High School in the beautiful Sanford, North Carolina. Week 1 of the 2025 season here at Cletus B. Gore Stadium. I got to say, I regret the fact that I was not here, that they named it after Mr. Cletus B. Gore. He was my defensive line coach and then was the dean of students when I was a teacher and a coach here as well. So
I was here the night they dedicated, and it was really cool. And I love the layout of this stadium. And I think there's a couple lessons that other schools could take, because it's not – you see schools where there's been a lot of revenue dumped into the build. This is sort of a standard layout, but the way it sits in with the woods and the retaining wall back there, it's just always cool.
Interesting fact, there is plumbing right where it says Southern Lee Cavaliers and Cletus B. Gore Stadium. There is plumbing and electrical conduit that runs down into the ground if they ever wanted to expand to a field house that came straight out of that wall.
What?
That is a true story.
That's cool.
Yeah, because they were able to tie it in from the concession stand and just run a drop straight down. That was big picture plans, ended up not being in the phase budget back in 2000, and they were constructing in 2003, 2004, opened up fall of 2005.
So you're telling me that they could bore out underneath the patio up there by the concessions and put a field house underneath?
Si, senor.
Wow.
3rd and 12 here for the Jaguars.
13 years out here. Nobody ever told me that. That's pretty cool. All right, Valenzuela Sherman under pressure, drops, rolls, delivers. Good-looking throw there. Going to be short of the sticks, bring up 4th and 4. Got to think Overhills is inclined to go for it unless they want to trot out their own kicker that we're not aware of that'll boot a 40-yarder.
4th and 4, 4th and 5 here. They're definitely going to go for this.
No hesitation. Valenzuela Sherman barking out signals. Plenty of time on the play clock. 22, 20, 19. Well, now they're moving guys around. This might become an issue. 17, 16. All right, they run a man off late. And Valenzuela Sherman surveys. Low snap, hands out around the right side. And if they convert that sub, they're not going to be happy. And it is going to be really, really close. They're going to mark him out at the 20, and that'll put him a yard short. Or excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm looking across, and my eyes are getting old. He does have the first down. Needed the 25.
Tackle made there by number 2, Trayshawn Johnson for the Cavaliers. Carry was number 4, Darren Rogers. Hit the second gear when he turned the corner, got up to the first down. This will bring a first down for the Jaguars in the Lambert Stone Law Firm red zone.
Sounds good to me.
I don't own my company, so.
Yeah. People ask all the time, what kind of law do y'all do? Whatever you need. All right, that's into the end zone. Jaguars didn't spend much time in the red zone. They're going to punch that in from 20 yards out. That is a touchdown. Number 19 on the reception, Josiah Bedford, the junior, gets his first, or the first, touchdown of the season for Overhills. Wait a minute.
What are we doing here? Side judge signaled. Maybe they're calling him down on the 1. I thought for sure he was in.
Nathan, I'm so confused right now.
Nothing on the scoreboard yet.
Nope, they've got 6 on the board.
Quarterback keep. He is brought down
nice
short.
Open field tackle. So, no, that was the conversion
That was a 2-point conversion.
Right, so we never got a subsequent touchdown signal. So it is 6-3.
The yard marker.
And Overhill's confused now. I think they thought that was this is opening week. I don't think the offense realized they had been given the touchdown. I think they thought they were running a first down play because the players were confused. But we saw the no good signal after the tackle. And,
I saw the side judge put his hands up to signal touchdown, but I never saw the white hat.
That was what I was saying, and everybody was confused. But in the end, it's 6-3 Overhills, and they'll be kicking off with 10:33 to go. Cavaliers looking to strike back.
Number 87 for the Jaguars, back to kick.
Nate, that was a bizarre sequence.
Pat, week 1 football, you never quite know what you're going to get.
I am 100% certain the Overhills offense did not realize they were running a conversion play there.
Correct. Coaches on the sideline looked quite perturbed as well.
Here we go. Kick is away. A good high spinner. And will not, just reaches the goal line and a little back spin on it, looking like a Nate Cochran 8-iron there.
I wish. Mr. Lambert, I'm glad to see you back. For our viewers at home, Mr. Lambert had a pretty serious injury and a string of surgeries. He was fighting a grizzly bear. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Oh, if only the real story were that cool, man.
You should see the bear, ladies and gentlemen. Chris came out way ahead with a little bit of a torn up ankle.
The bear got me, but I got him back. And, at one point during that, I'm like, man, I'm old. I'm just not healing. But the doc and medical miracle got me back up on all my feet, and I'm actually playing a little bit of golf again. So
there we go.
That's really all I need my ankles for. All right, Harrington up the middle. Hey, they got some pop in that belly play. Quick hitter there to the fullback, and they'll pick up 6 on the play. 2nd and 4.
Number 2 on the carry, Trayshawn Johnson for the Cavaliers. Nope, sorry, Tommy Lineberry.
Tommy Lineberry, whose grandfather is with us in the booth. Some run as one of the players to watch in the Carolina Pines Athletic Conference this year. Tommy plays double duty as a linebacker and as a fullback. Harrington with the give. Push him, push him, push him, push him. Be close to the sticks. Oh, about a foot and a half short. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
It was number 24, Jack Mitchell, on the carry. Have to imagine they're going to go right back into that A-gap dive here to convert the first down.
I couldn't do it, Nate.
Not a fan, huh?
If it's effective, I'm a fan. Southern going to use their second timeout of the first half, and while they do, we'll take a quick break. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. My name is Rich Trogdon, and we are First Bank.
All right, welcome back to Sanford, North Carolina, home of the Southern Cavaliers. Southern took a timeout, wanted to talk about it, and Nate, if I'm being honest, I don't know how long you need to talk about running a fullback dive.
All right, boys, we going to the left, we going to the right. See, now this is why I no longer do this and get paid. I'd throw a ball here.
I would,
because your 4th down conversion success rate within a yard is pretty high, especially at this level. But we'll see what Coach
You'd be willing to risk the short field.
I'd risk it.
Okay, fair enough. I like it. That's some Madden type stuff, by the way. And they're going to get it. They go around the edge and do not run the fullback dive.
And that's going to be a 15-yarder.
No, I see no yellow, which is interesting. I guess because he was engaged as they went out of bounds. But even with all of that, that is going to be a first down as
number 28 on the carry there.
Yep, you crossed me up, Coach Blanks.
Amari Britton.
Amari Britton with the big run. He's a load.
That is a big young man. Rodney Ingram-esque for any Cavalier fans at home.
Hey, very much so. I like that. That's a good reference.
A.K.A. Big Baby for all of our old school fans.
A lot of fun.
Good athletic family. Him and his older sister Cheyenne. Fantastic softball player.
And there's another fullback dive. And that was Tommy Lineberry again. He's getting a lot of work here.
I can see Wynn smiling from the back of his head.
Yep.
Proud grandfather there. Southern Lee being very methodical in their play calling here.
Well, Southern's got some big guys on both sides of the ball, but on balance, the thing that jumps out is Overhills is just a bigger squad. And, they didn't game plan specifically for Overhills and say, hey, look, we're going to run clock. That's how Southern rolls. Part of that is that it's a byproduct of the conference they played in with gigantic schools and trying to limit the number of snaps. And part of it is just that Coach Blanks believes you don't make mistakes, you win football games.
That's right.
So he's going to do what he does. You commented on the shuttling the plays in and out with the quarterback. Aside from the fact that that's just old school and you're an old soul, what do you think the benefit is there?
It slows everything down and makes you utilize the play clock. And Southern Lee having go route here for number 5. That is a catch.
Boy, that'll do. Over top of double coverage, Petrarca caught it in stride down at the 35-yard line, and that's a Southern Lee first down.
For everyone at home, I don't know if our cameras picked that up. When Harrington came over to the sideline, he signaled right at his belt line to Coach Fred Blanks to run it again. That was the exact same play that they ran last time. Harrington saw something he liked, Blanks decided to go trust his quarterback, his sophomore quarterback, and it converts for a big first down. Back to what we were talking about, it also, with Southern Lee playing so many guys on both ways, it gives them a natural breather break. Hand off the line, Barry.
You know, you see a lot of teams that signal plays in, and I think one of the things that is underestimated on its impact is when you line those big hosses up in a three-point stance and they have to sit there indefinitely.
It kills your legs.
I don't understand why anybody does that. But this, by virtue of, you know, the way they do it, everybody's just sort of standing, getting a blow in the huddle, and does its part to keep these guys fresh. 7:49 to go, Southern on the move. 2nd and 8.
Harrington steps back.
Swings it out wide, and there's a penalty on the play, and 53, our unknown star, a little hobbled. He's going to come off. Keep an eye on him, see if he's back in, because he has been a difference maker so far, sir.
That's going to be it's in the territory of holding. It's a chop block by the Cavaliers.
Wow.
Illegal chop block, so you have to be within, Chris, remind me here, I believe it's 3 yards of the line of scrimmage, and you have to be on the line to complete a chop block. So if that was a running back that came forward or it was past the 3-yard differential in either direction of the line of scrimmage, then that is a penalty. But that is a North Carolina-specific law. For the old Cavalier fans that have been watching, I guess it was 11 years now. Seems like yesterday. When you go to Texas, they play by NCAA rules, and your backfield can also chop block. So that was something very different. So that is a state-dependent rule.
Did you guys know that going down there, or did you find out mid-game?
We knew that going down there. Okay. We practiced it all week. It's hard to duplicate when you don't do it every day.
All right, back to the line of scrimmage, but that'll bring up 3rd and a mile here. Harrington over having a conversation with Coach Blanks. Coach Blanks calling the offense, although he has an offensive coordinator. And Robert Sims is the OC, if I'm not mistaken. I wonder, I'll have to check in on Robbie Sims, Coach Sims' son, who was quarterback the last couple years here at Southern. See if he found himself a gig for Saturdays. There's a backward pass, and big hit. Stays on his feet, and now out of bounds again, tackled. That's stretching farther and farther. That is Kendall Hawkins or Luke Waters. We're not sure on the reception. Number 20. And did a great job of staying on his feet. Now, Southern looks like the offense is going to stay out here on the field 4th and long. Or maybe not. Coach Blanks, now he's calling the offense over, and they're going to kick this thing away, it would appear.
Big hit from the Overhills cornerback there coming all the way down. Might have been a safety.
Or maybe not.
Big
got a timeout on the
field.
field.
Wrap up.
You got a timeout on the field. I suppose that's Southern that used their last timeout. We'll stay here with the action. And I doubt that Coach Blanks called a timeout for the purpose of punting the ball away. So we'll see what they've got drawn up. All right, Nate, what do you think so far?
Southern Lee has offensive line is struggling with Overhills High School's defensive line. That's obvious for everyone at home watching. I like Harrington back at quarterback. He's made a couple of mistakes. But nothing that a sophomore quarterback is not expected to make at times. And overall, I've been impressed.
You see what's going on here, right? They're lining up to kick a 60-yard field goal.
And now you're going to pop them back down to 20 if this doesn't go in.
Yeah. And after that 47-yarder and as well struck as it was, I'm not gonna take that off the board as a possibility. But for those at home, the strategy here is you're punting the ball without punting.
If I was
and
Overhills,
assuring yourself of you're trying to return it.
I'd mark this guy all the way back at the end zone.
As would I. And
that's a false start.
Well, there's 5 of them.
That's a false start.
And now you're 55. We saw from 47 with plenty of room. I don't know what the wind's doing down there on the field, but who knows?
This is a Overhills.
And I got to tell you, Petrarca not setting that tee down just any kind of way. He thinks he can hit this. Now, what I don't know, and I'm going to have to look this up, I don't know if the ball crosses the goal line, if it's dead or not. It's a high spinner.
Well, we're going to find out.
And it is going to be returned. This could be trouble. All right, here it comes. This is what you're trying to avoid with that. And that could go to the house. It's gone.
Someone took a playbook out of Auburn University's design here. We talked about it earlier to move that young man back.
If you're going to miss the field goal, you got to miss it badly. And that one hung up there and spun, and a good heads-up job by the return man for Overhills. Comes and gets it, and with your field goal protect team on there, that's not your punt cover team. Wow. So we saw the strategy work great a couple of times last year. Never saw anything quite like that, and that is a momentum swing of epic proportions right there.
Nick Saban famously quoted after the Iron Bowl in, what was that, 2011, 2012, give or take?
Around there, yes.
Somewhere around the early 20-teens. He would never have slow guys only on field goal. Famously, and he had some words that we won't say here on the air to tie that in a little bit more expressively.
All right. Overhill's going to get a timeout, get their stuff together before this conversion attempt. 6:04 to go. We take a quick break. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
WilkinsonCars.com. Come visit us at our new location in Sanford. With the same great staff and the same great service. Test drive one of our many different vehicles. Check out our state-of-the-art service department and collision center, where our team can have you back on the road in no time. We're right across from Walmart at 3335 North Carolina 87 South. Schedule your appointment online at WilkinsonCars.com or call us at 919-842-3322. We guarantee we're the place to be at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC.
All right, welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week. You can see a rebroadcast of all the games on Sanford.TV, I believe is the website. Is that accurate? SanfordTV.live. I messed that up. SanfordTV.live. So the day after all of our broadcasts, you can see them then. You catch check schedule there. And plenty of other events get coverage there as well. 48 hours, you say. I'm just full of accurate information tonight.
Parades.
Parades, for
right?
sure.
Parades for sure. Some church services, if I remember correctly.
What churches do you broadcast, Win? Grace? Lighthouse Chapel. All right.
Shout out to all of the patrons at Lighthouse Chapel. Not sure where that is. Somewhere in Sanford. Center Church Road.
All right, a little bit of extra work here for the kicker to do. Ball be placed down 13. 23-yard conversion attempt. Ball's down. Kick is up. Kick is blocked.
Kick is blocked. Cannot.
Right, so Overhills giving an indication as to why they went for 2 the first time, if they had actually known that they'd scored the play before. 12-3, 6:04 to go. Southern looking to bounce back after that snafu on special teams. We got any updates from around the conference, Nate? And you know we got to talk about the conference at some point.
Yeah, and I'm going to defer to you on a good bit of that. I have not been tracking it as closely as I should have.
Well,
I know that there is Hornet Central, the Trojans that are in it. Union Pines, of course, has always been in a conference with Southern Lee. Lee County High School. Let's see, did Triton make it again?
Yep.
The Triton Hawks and West Johnston.
South Johnston and West Johnston. Western Hornet, Hornet Central, Triton. the 2 Lee County schools, and Union Pines. That's the 7 that round out the conference.
There you go.
I think from an equity standpoint or equitability standpoint, as it were, I like the matchups. I like the competition level. I think looking at this might surprise some people when I say this. Harnett Central might be in the catbird seat this year. They got some talent over there. Lee County obviously will be a player. Union Pines, be interested to see what they bring to the table, but I don't think that the teams – I don't think what you're going to find is that this is a conference of haves and have-nots. I think week in and week out you're going to have competitive football games against schools that are pretty evenly matched, which is going to be a whole lot of fun versus where we've been before, not to disparage anybody that had anything to do with the previous conference. You know what I'm saying.
Can I disparage?
No.
No.
It's past. It's over. Lord knows
we did 4 years
we
of
got
it.
enough of that, man. Yeah, I don't need Scotland versus Hoke or Richmond versus Southern on a Friday night.
So this has, I'm looking at high school OT, Lee County at Hunt. Does that sound right?
No.
No. Okay, because this has Hunt 37, Lee County 0, and that
it could be. Let me check. I thought maybe they do. Look at here. Looky here. Looky here. Looky here. Look at the Jets. Look at the Jets.
He's going to go the
and
whole
that is a
distance.
lead touchdown. Petrarca. Man.
And just like that, we're back to a one-possession ball game.
I gotta eat my words, Nathan, because I told you good hands, good route running, not that top-end speed. Wrong. Somebody's been working out. That was burst. When he got it into fifth gear, there was no catching me. Outran the defense, and Petrarca now gets to come back out there and kick the extra point.
We'll do it all.
Oh, my goodness.
This man will fill the water coolers, tape up ankles, cut the grass.
And run past everybody. Beautiful.
Yes, so according to Max Preps, Lee County is at Hunt tonight, and they are currently down 37-0.
Oh, my God.
In the second quarter.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, it's right.
Whew.
Rough.
Jerry Chalmers, where are you at, man? Goodness gracious.
Snap is back. Hold looks good.
Wait a minute.
Kick is up.
What did you say the score is?
37-0.
Oh.
Wow. That is Cavaliers, 7 points.
I'm
so that puts them at 10.
It's got nothing to do with what's going on in the field over here. Goodness gracious.
It is 12-10 here. Overhills Jaguars over the Southern Lee Cavaliers. We have 5:43 left to go here in the first half. The halftime tonight is a 15-minute with a 3-minute overage, so 18 minutes total. And Overhills will receive beginning the second half. Southern Lee looking here for a big stop, trying to get some points up going into the half. Have this game either, well, you can't tie it up unless you get a safety. So trying to take the lead going here into the halftime.
And the Swiss Army knife that is Kessler Petrarca will kick this off.
What is that young man's stat? 6'0", 160. He was booking it. I don't know if that young man runs track, but he should.
I'm with you. Yeah, looked like safety had the angle, and he just outran it. Now, see, I take it back. Petrarca's not going to kick this. They've got a different kicker in here. Number 34 going to kick this away, Caleb Manzano. Interesting. So I don't know if you saw, Nate, the other day. There was a college kicker that used a strap-on kicking shoe. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. All right, first 10 Overhills. Back at about the 20-yard line.
A strap-on kicking shoe?
Uh-huh.
What does that even I mean,
It
I
was a
understand
weird-looking
what you're
device.
saying.
It's a weird-looking device. But, yeah, your kickers, once you get out of the high school level, and even some of them at the high school level, use a different style of cleat. But, yeah, he had normal shoes on, and then before he prepared to kick, he strapped on a shoe over top of his normal cleat and kicked the ball with it. It's interesting.
It was historical that you could not wear soccer cleats while on the football field. And this young man's going to break multiple tackles, and he's going to go to the house.
Well, without Kessler Petrarca there on defense to chase him down, there aren't any Southern League Cavaliers in the shot by the time he gets into the end zone. And that is Jordan McKinnon all the way to the house. Man.
Quick turn there.
And did I credit the right guy? I had number 6 there. Wow.
Let's see.
As a back and forth sort of grinded out first quarter, now, they're just blowing the doors off, run the ball up and down the field. This is wild. Fun stuff. We have us a shootout now. 18-10 with 5:27 to go in the second quarter. A conversation by the officials who have been, not in play here for a little while after sort of dominating the action earlier. Has anybody checked in on Jerry Chalmers?
I have not. We do have a flag. We have a flag way downfield, right at about the 20-yard line.
Goodness gracious.
Good gracious. It's going to march them all the way back. I will text Mr. Chalmers, make sure he's okay. You alive, my friend? I have not seen Jerry since that night at your house. I won't say in your house because we never went in. We just stood out in the road.
Yeah, we did.
Like a bunch of hoodlums.
All right, this will be a 33-yard point after try. Southern blocked the last one. Ball's down, bad hold, not even close. And the score will stick at 18-10 as Overhills is now 0 for 3 on conversions. And that could be a big play in the ball game as it remains a one-score affair as Southern will get it back. See if they can strike back with a big play. 18-10, 5:27 to go.
What a quick change of events here.
I tell you what.
Cletus B. Gore Stadium.
Well, we had 3 touchdowns there in the span of about 90 seconds.
We had a field goal attempt, return for a touchdown. Southern Lee came around and put it about 70 yards on one play, and then Overhills High School turns around and sends it 80 yards in one play. I did not have that on my bingo card for tonight. Big kick from the Overhills kicker. That ball's going to go into the end zone. We're going to have a touchback. Southern Lee going to take over on the 20-yard line. Harrington going to come out, try to lead this Cavalier offense down the field, tie this ball game up going into halftime. We're not at a 2-minute drill yet. I would imagine the same methodical play calling will stay here for Coach Blanks for at least the first half of this drive. Hopefully it's a good, sustainable drive. Chris, off the top of your head, do you know West Johnston's mascot? I know South Johnston is the Trojans.
I don't, and if I could get into Max Preps, I would tell you what it is, but I am struggling right now to get any sort of connection, which, is amazingly frustrating and kind of indicative of the times, isn't it? Like, how can I not get into all the information in the world?
That is a counter play here for the Cavaliers on their first down play. That will bring up 2nd and 12, a loss of 2. Southern League going to burn some of this clock up. If nothing else, even if they don't score this drive, they want to burn up enough clock to not give Overhills much of a chance to break this loose into a 2-possession ball game going into halftime.
Here's the fullback
hand off to Lineberry.
Cardinal Gibbons up 24-0 against Dudley in the second quarter.
Ooh, that's a good ball game.
That Lee County Hunt game is still 37-0. Says they're in the third quarter. Middle Creek, we always keep an eye on those guys up there. Middle Creek up 14-7 against Fuquay Varina. Richmond up 6-0 on Hogard. Union Pines all over Westover, 28-6 in the second quarter. They've gone to the half there. And Cleveland up 18-13 on Pinecrest.
There's the option play from the Cavaliers. Cavaliers going to run out. There's a late hit.
There you go. They finally. So now we know you got to get all the way to the edge of the track to get a flag. So Scotland taking on Dillon. I believe they're playing Dillon out of South Carolina. Down 27-14. They might want to rethink whether or not they want to schedule them again.
A lot of the old conference currently down. Who'd you say Pinecrest was playing?
Pinecrest was down to, now you got me off that screen now. I'll get back around to it, I promise.
We're not back here at Southern Lee for a couple of weeks, correct?
That's correct.
I'm going to set a reminder in my phone to bring some Windex. Try to clean this window a little bit. Harrington.
Ooh, big stick.
Eaten alive there. Looked like a play action. And eaten alive there for a loss of 2 here. Bring up 2nd and 12.
So conference play or conference interest for Southern Lee faithful. South Johnston up 7-2 at Smithfield Selma.
Ooh, a safety.
Yeah.
Don't see those very often.
If you follow Overhills, you might be interested that Princeton is up 28-14 on Aiden Grifton.
Princeton, a small school in Johnson County, a K-12 school, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right. And that ball's caught. What a catch.
Where that ball's coming all the way back, though.
Oh.
And that flag came out very, very early. I'm interested to see what it was.
And that's a couple big pass plays been undone by penalties, and that's going to be a hold. So instead of a big 30-yard gain, it's going to march the other way. It'd be 2nd and 22.
That flag came out so fast, I'm not sure how you can hold someone that quick.
Some really good games across the state. New Bern up 20-7 over New Hanover. Wakefield all over Heritage, 52-12 in the third.
Oof. What time did those games start if they're already in the third quarter? Good gracious.
Like 5:30 kickoffs or something. Cardinal Gibbons, 24-0 over Dudley. That I thought that might be a little tighter than that. Cardinal Gibbons, maybe the class of the state, but, man, I thought Dudley might push him a little bit. So far, it doesn't look like it.
Number 32 for Overhills there on the tackle. 33, William South. We've called his name a lot today. He is definitely the leader of that linebacker core for the Jaguars. We'll bring up 3rd and what they used to call a country mile.
A country mile. Panther Creek, 10. Holly Springs, 7.
Ooh.
That Hunt Lee County scores got me messed up, buddy. South Garner over West Johnston, 7-0. That game is at the half. Charlotte Catholic, 23. South Mecklenburg, 7. And the third down run, Coach Blank's playing it close to the vest. Clock will be inside 2 minutes when they line up to kick this ball away. 4th and a mile coming up.
South Mech I always kind of root for. I know it's random, but it's the high school that my father played at.
Okay. All right, so Eastern Randolph up 14-0 at Southern Alamance.
That's a big week 1 for Eastern Alamance.
It really is. It really is. Or Eastern Randolph.
Or Eastern Randolph. That's not usually you see a 1A homeschool team out of.
What are you saying?
Out of them week 1. Just saying. That's historically what it's been.
That's a fact. So, okay, Overhill's going to take a timeout, 1:41 to go, and try and preserve some clock and strike again before the half. Boy, if they could double up here, that'd really be rough for Southern.
I bet they don't try a field goal this time.
Here's a matchup for you, buddy. Tarboro 13 on the road at Rocky Mount 9.
Ooh, that's a good ball game in that
Right?
region.
Tarboro
That's
Rocky Mount. I like that.
That's a big one.
Not that this is not the place I want to be. I'm just thinking that some of these games I'm like, man, that's a really good week 1 matchup.
I don't want to drive all the way down to Rocky Mount or Tarboro.
Not really.
But good Eastern North Carolina matchup there. 2 historical programs.
We talked about Harnett Central. If I'm looking at this based on last year's performances, I like Harnett Central a lot. They've got a receiver out there who is a legit college prospect. They are all over Northwood right now, 27-0.
The Northwood Chargers, I imagine they're either a 5A or 6A this year now.
I thought there was a chance Northwood was going to wind up in the district with the Lee County schools.
That ball's fieldable.
And it was not to be.
Number 1 on the reception there for Overhills. Apologize, don't have a number on that. Tackle made by number 20, Luke Waters, pushed him out of bounds right at the 46-yard line. Jaguars going to take over. Take a look at the clock. 1 minute, 28 seconds, so a total of 88 seconds left on this clock.
Now, Northwood is a 3A, and that
surprises me.
That really is. I'm surprised by that.
Well, with Seaforth opening up.
Seaforth caused that.
And that Chatham Park development, the park is well on its way to being developed at this point, but I don't know if the secondary housing market has caught up.
That is a good point. I mean, get back to me in 5 or 6 years, and I bet both those schools are significantly bigger because of
There's a hold. Good gracious.
all of the influx there that's predicted. But
I don't think the housing has caught up to the industry yet in that specific area.
I would tend to agree. I tell you what, that Seaforth, I don't think you went on the road with us to Seaforth last year. What a nice facility, man.
Who's their coach? I knew the coach at one point in time, and his name's escaping me at the moment.
I can't recall off the top of my head, but I'm going to tell you what, buddy. They've got a little quarterback over there. Got a couple of years left. He's fun to watch.
Can sling it, huh?
He runs like a deer, and, yeah, he's fun to watch. He was the bulk of their offense, but one of those guys, you got to stop him and then just can't do a whole lot about it.
Ooh, we're going to have a false start here on the Jaguars. Looks like number 78 on that. Again, don't have a number. This is what I get for printing out rosters the night before and not the day of.
Yeah,
Bring up first and about 25 here for the Jaguars. Had an out route, and we have a late hit. Looks like it's going to be on number 73 of the Cavaliers, 75 of the Cavaliers, Johnny Kershaw. That'll be roughing the passer. See, that's when you got to have discussion with White Hat. As a fellow big man, like Mr. Kershaw is, it's not easy to stop all that mass when it's going forward. You start talking about the kinetic energy and mass movement.
Oh, no, you didn't.
It takes a lot to stop us big boys. You got to give us a little bit of grace. That's all I'm saying. Just a little bit of grace for the big boys. Unless that quarterback's your son, and then there's no grace. Ball's thrown up and tipped by the Cavaliers. Good deflection there by number 1, Jalen Barnes, senior wide receiver and defensive back, 6'1", 150.
Tolbert Matthews is the coach you were looking for out there at Seaforth.
Tolbert Matthews. No, I don't think I know
That's
him.
not him?
Nah, I don't think that's it. I don't know him. And I could have just been confused. I have not been out on that property yet. I hear it's beautiful.
You know, the way they've got it cut, it is really wild. It's quite a sportsplex, and it is almost organic to the surrounding neighborhood where they've got the baseball field where you've got like houses in the just beyond the outfield wall on the baseball field.
Ball's up, number 8's wide open. Oh.
You got to turn your hands over, young man. He is going to lose sleep over that one. That was 6, and Jaden Goldwire not able to bring it in. Flipped his hands over.
Hit him in the chest plate. We have a down Cavalier. Number 75, Johnny Kershaw. He's going to have to come out for the next snap. We're going to take a quick break while Mr. Kershaw's attended to, and we will be back for the end of the first half.
We love Camelback because of the loaded nachos here and the burgers.
I'm here at Camelback Brewing, and they have some of my favorite food in Sanford. The buffalo chicken dip is a must-get along with the onion rings. The staff is fantastic, and the people are always great. It's a good time here.
Camelback, for all you do, this stud's for you.
Welcome back here to the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by DeLambert Stone Law Firm and Sedgwick Building Consulting.
I like that. I like that. All right, stay tuned for the Classic Nissan halftime show where we'll talk about what we've seen. And if you've sat here through the first half, you can criticize our analysis or you hang out and see what the coach has to say. I don't think I have much to contribute.
Overhills in a trips formation at the bottom of your screen, going left to right here. One lone man up. Southern Lee sitting with one safety back.
Oh, nice block. And Goldwire with the chance to make it up. Man, I tell you what, he tried to get a little bit too much. That was that Barry Sanders move, man. Take what it gave you. If he'd have fallen forward, he had the first down. Instead, he tried to cut it back and get a big play. He's going to be 2 yards short. Southern out of timeouts. Couldn't stop the clock if they wanted to. That's a bad spot, too, by the way.
Yeah, that spot looks to be about a yard and a half
but
short.
Overhill's not in any hurry. I think we're going to see a situation where they run one right at the end of the play clock. Clock would be at about 10 seconds if they snap it down at 0. So we'll see how urgent they want to be. And nope, they're going to go ahead and take a timeout.
We got a timeout for the Jaguars.
That is their final timeout. So 4th and a couple. And the Jaguars will dip deep into the playbook here as we get down. 28 seconds to go in the half. I wish we had replay on that one. I'd like to see who it was out there threw that shoulder into the Southern Lee defender on the edge there to spring Goldwire.
I believe it was number 6, Jordan McKinnon, but I could be wrong. That's what my roster has. I think your roster's different.
I have Jordan McKinnon.
You have Jordan McKinnon?
I'm still kind of bugged out, man. You're telling me they could put a field house underneath.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh.
Where you could come right out to it.
Man, that'd be really cool.
That would be very cool and very, very expensive.
Well, let's find some rich friends and make that happen. Or we could just, put artificial turf down first.
I like that idea better.
All right, from the gun. Fielding drops. Looking deep. Flings it down the left side. He's got a man behind the defense and overthrows him. He had 2 or 3 steps out there. I'll tell you what, they better figure out where number 8's at because he's just running past defenders.
He stutter-stepped on that one when the ball was released.
All right, I'm going to tell you what. With what Harrington has showed me in his brief stint here as the Southern Lee starting quarterback, I'm going to put in extra work on 2-minute drill because this guy might be able to do some damage in 25 seconds in a situation like this. I would tend to think that this is probably not a part of the playbook that Southern Lee spent a great deal of time on up to this point in the season, but it might be worthwhile to do so. Find number 5 if you're Overhills, and roll a safety over top of it.
Southern Lee in a doubles formation. Harrington back in the shotgun. Quick release out.
Got to get out of bounds. Got to get out of bounds. Clock runs. Cannot stop it. 18 seconds to go. And another layer of complexity here or complication for Southern is they're accustomed to shuttling plays in, and they're going to call it a half and go on to the house. And that might be something they want to talk about in the future because
that's the end of the first half.
I think it's worth a crack.
Worth a crack. That young man needs to get out of bounds, though.
All right, we'll come back with the Classic Nissan halftime show after these messages. Thanks for hanging out with us. You're watching a good game here in the NFHS Game of the Week. We'll see you shortly.
Hello, my name is Johnny Whiteside. I own Kendall Pawn Shop in the Kendall area of Sanford. We've been in business for 45 years now this year. We haven't been in business that long by not taking care of customers. We sell all kinds of firearms, electronics, tools of every kind you can imagine.
All right, welcome back. This is the Classic Nissan halftime show. Slow start to the half. Came out of the first quarter up suddenly 3-0, and then in a series of about, 45 seconds of game clock time, 3 touchdowns. First on the field goal return. Yeah, I said it right. Field goal return by Overhills. Southern answered with a big 70-yard pass play to Petrarca down the right sideline, but then gave up the big run, and here we are at 18-10. I think that series of missed conversions by Overhills could play a factor. Overhills going to try and mitigate that with a score coming out of halftime. They'll get the ball to start the second half. What'd you like? What'd you dislike?
So far with Cavaliers, I have liked Harrington at quarterback. I'll be honest, as an old offensive coordinator, sophomore quarterbacks scare you to death. They scare you to death. Sophomore quarterbacks make sophomore quarterback mistakes. Harrington looks comfortable there in the pocket. You see at times where he's dictating the offense. He came over on the touchdown pass to Petrarca. He came over to Coach Blanks. I'll give a little bit of insider information. He did this right at the belt line. Lift up so I'm on camera. Wanted the same play again. Turned into 6 points, so that was fantastic. I like the stable of backs that the Cavaliers have so far. I'd like to see a little bit more push in winning the line of scrimmage. This Jaguar defensive line is feasting right now on the Cavaliers.
When you say you'd like to see them win the line of scrimmage, they're going to have to out-scheme them.
Yes.
Because man for man, that's a tough matchup. And I tell you, I think we're going to see that in a couple of weeks when Lee County gets these guys. They pose a problem. And then you got William South, the senior linebacker for Overhills. Man, if he gets to you, he doesn't miss. So they've got to do something with that front seven. In a different circumstance, you think, okay, we're going to come out, we're going to spread it out, we're going to take that away and get the ball out quick. Well, that's not what Southern's going to do. I don't know what they're going to do, but that's not it.
Well, right now, Southern's trying to run a zone blocking scheme. They're running a few counters where they're pulling, but for the most part, they're basically, plays going to the right. Everyone steps to the right, and what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to double team your player that is directly on your helmet or one to the side, and then you're supposed to bump up to that next level, and that's how you're going to get coverage onto Mr. South is that next layer up 3 yards up past the line of scrimmage. It's early, and I will tell everyone at home, I have taught zone blocking schemes. It is a very, very precise art that week one, very, very, very few people have it. Especially with the turnover not turnover of the ball, but turnover of athletes from last year to this year's squad. If you've had a chance to teach this blocking scheme with these kids for 4 years at the varsity level or 3 years, it becomes second nature. But it's very hard to replicate that in practice properly time and time again. And we've got to remember, these young kids started true fall football 21 days ago.
Yeah, that
and so we need to try to hold criticism because they have only been doing this 3 weeks with 2 days mandatory break for Saturdays and Sundays. So really, 16 days, 17 days, 14 days, whatever that math works out to. So nonetheless, I see where the mechanics are being taught, and I see where they're trying to get there. I think, it's week one. It's week one. That's just what it is. But overall, I've been impressed with this Cavaliers. When you were talking around town earlier in the week, You'd say, well, what about Southern Lee? Everyone wants to talk about Lee County. What about Southern Lee? And everyone goes, me? I don't know. Southern Lee, I think, especially with the rezoning of the conferences, I like their chances. I'm not going to sit here and predict that they win a conference championship by any stretch, but I think this is going to be a much more competitive season for the Cavaliers after watching one half of football.
Well, we go back 2 years ago where Southern shocked a lot of the regional football world, made the playoffs. They were, a couple of really tight games away from having a follow-up season. Dropped a game late to Lee County, 21-18. If they win that game, who knows what's going on. Southern spoiled Union Pines' run last year, and what resulted for Union Pines was a lot worse seed than they would have gotten had they got past Southern. Last year, they weren't able to replicate the success on paper that they'd had the year before, but this is a Southern Lee team that's come a long way in a couple of years. And don't overthink football. You can talk about scheme. You can talk about everything. We're in a day and age where a lot of your success is going to begin and end with what's going on under center.
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to anoint him an All-American here, but Ben Harrington, a half of football in, man, this could be fun 3 years for these guys.
This could be a lot of fun.
This could be a fun 3 years. So I'm glad we were here on day one. This may actually be one of those days you're like, remember we saw his first start? He's got some moxie. Not rattled. You saw him, in action. You can pick that up right away. Sophomore quarterbacks or first-time starters at quarterback, regardless of class, have the same tendencies a lot of times. Watching him, he looks like he's played quarterback all his life because as he rolls, the eyes stay down the field, and his mechanics, when it comes time, no matter what position he's in, he managed to get those shoulders squared up and deliver the football. I like it. We'll see what Southern Lee does with it in the second half, and we'll see what they do with the rest of the season and for the next couple of years. But that has got to be a bonus. And to be honest, Southern Lee's playing with house money in week one.
Yes, they are.
They're playing a 7A school, 3 straight years to the playoffs. Overhills has been that close for a couple of years of really making a run. They have drawn some ridiculous draws in the first round of the playoffs the last few years. But Coach Bacon, after a slow start, has a winning record over the last 3 years. Overhill's has been no slouch. And for Southern to host them week one, they knew they were going to have their hands full. Well, they do. And they haven't been overmatched here.
No.
And there are a couple big plays, either way. This game, there's a lot of football left to play. So I'm excited to see what happens in the second half. Southern Lee certainly not getting pushed around on either side of the ball. Overhills, they've got the adjustment to make with quarterback, and they obviously haven't settled on one because we've seen about equal time from Valenzuela Sherman and from Fielding. Be interesting to see if they settle and are more inclined to go one way or the other in the second half. They've got a lot of speed at those skill positions.
Yes, they
and
do.
Southern's got to be a little bit more cognizant. Goldwire just keeps running past the defense, and McKinnon has got some burst out of the backfield. So Southern going to have to play smart football in the second half, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good second half. Southern Lee's going to need to seal up that secondary a little bit. They're playing a lot of one-man high right now. Might need to transition into two-man high.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, great first half of football here in Sanford, North Carolina. We're looking forward to the second half. Thank you for tuning in to the Classic Nissan Halftime Show. We look forward to watching this one end with you.
All right, see you in a bit.
All you do is win, 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 no matter what. We got you on our mind, we can never get enough. Every time you step into our building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. All you do is win, win, win. Put your hands in the air when you go there.
Visit us@sanford.com or call 1-855-461-9595. Classic Nissan Sanford.
Come see me. Come see me. All right. All right, welcome back to Sanford. Whew. After the kick, Overhills will take over 1st and 10 It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful night here in Sanford after a summer where it has been gravitated between, 137 degrees and torrential downpours. It is beautiful out here tonight. All right. Overhills backed all the way up to the 10-yard, they're going to take over about the 6-yard line. Nathan Cochran finally decided to make his presence known.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good, buddy. You're still way ahead of Jerry Chalmers.
At this point, I don't know if it's going to happen.
There's the hand up the middle, and we said they got to be careful about these explosive athletes from Overhills. And Overhills with a big 37-yard gain on first down.
Number 4, Darren Rogers on the carry there for the Jaguars.
Some make you miss in that young man. All right, Overhills with a big play to start the second half. So, folks, if we sound a little low energy, there is it's not even a hum. It's white noise in our ears, and I think I might be losing my mind. So I don't know that I can be held responsible if I say something crazy. It is mind-numbing. All right, no gain. Good play by the Southern front 7 there.
I don't know how much these headphones cost, but
they're not cheap.
I bet we could Amazon a couple before next week.
I don't know. These are not low-end headphones. I think this is probably a cable issue, but I don't know. Well, I will get out my checkbook if we need new cables. All right, in at quarterback is Gabriel Valenzuela Sherman. I'm just calling it GVS. How about that?
I love that.
GVS, nice delivery. Receiver unable to come up with it. Third and 10, excuse me.
Pitch and catch out there for number 15, Braden Bryant on a 5-yard out route there for the Jaguars. Couldn't quite hold on. It was a good ball. Hit him in his hands.
Couple of those for Overhills tonight. 3rd and 10. And there's a false start. The left guard readjusted his feet, moved a little bit, and that looked an awful lot like a simulation of the snap, and that's what the officials call. Just to sort of bail him out, his mate there, left tackle, moved too after he did, just saying, that way they can't pin it on you, buddy.
That's right.
Helping you out. 3rd and 15.
Offensive line like to stick together.
Y'all got each other's back.
You got to stick together.
I like that. 3rd and 15. GVS from the gun.
College football week 0 starting tomorrow.
Yeah, well, let's skip straight ahead to next Saturday. Who you got?
Oh, I haven't even looked at them yet.
Great open field tackle there. Southern Lee. That is Luke Waters on the stop.
My FanDuel account, I can publicly say that now because it's legal in the state of North Carolina, and I'm no longer involved in high school athletics other than TV, so I can say that now. My FanDuel account does not get logged on until the Monday before week 1.
Interesting.
So I have not.
So you got Ohio State, Texas on Saturday at noon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
In Ohio State? At Ohio State? In the Horseshoe?
That's a great question.
I think it's at the Horseshoe.
I'm assuming it's at the Horseshoe because they love those noon starts there in Columbus. Austin, not so much.
No. That could be a predetermination of the championship game as well, though. Both those programs looking real strong going into week 1.
Well, we get to see the beginning of the Arch Manning era. We'll see if all the hype is worthwhile. But at Ohio State, not near the amount of hoopla, but you have the Julian Sayin era beginning. And a lot of people at home might not know that name, but Ohio State quarterbacks in the last, 7 or 8 years have all become household names. Be interested to see what he's got. He was one of the number one or one of the top quarterbacks in the country, committed to Alabama, and then when Saban left, he transferred to Ohio State and he redshirted last year. And the telling thing about Sayin is he won the job for this year almost immediately. There hadn't been any and that is a room packed full of 4- and 5-star recruits saying they never deviated. He was their guy. In fact, they had a young man, played with Jeremiah Smith in high school, that transferred out because he decided he couldn't compete with Sayin. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. I think the quarterback battle is going to have a lot to do with it, but you got two teams that are just absolutely loaded here in the dying stages of the NCAA, because I don't think NCAA football is going to exist anymore. Very many more years.
So this was a discussion that was had beginning of August with my friend group as Southern Lee lines up under center. Harrington's going to roll back and throw
big pop there at the end. That is not a catch. That is not a catch.
That's a terrible call. Sir. That's a terrible call.
That is awful. And they're going to have a conversation about it.
That
is an awful
That
call.
is absolutely atrocious. And we have a Jaguar down.
Oh,
that's white hat. You have to
terrible.
fix that. That is.
And you saw that he wanted
That is an abomination.
His official talked him into it. Terrible.
Anyways, so conversation we were having back beginning of August in one of my many, many group chats that I try to ignore as much as possible because I have to work periodically. Has the Big Ten dethroned the SEC for the Big Dog Conference?
It's tough to say. Tough to say. It is definitely a conversation worth having. I think that the relative downward trend of the California schools has it just below the SEC. But when you look at the tops of those conferences, I think we're in a day and age where you could take the Big Ten champ and the SEC champ and forego a playoff. Look at that ball delivered,
number 1.
and over his head, led him by about 2 steps too far. That was a beautiful throw by Fielding, but just a little bit beyond his reach.
I think in the days of NIL and all of that, I think the Big Ten, top to bottom, has deeper financial pockets than a lot of the SEC.
That, I believe, is an absolutely true statement. I think that's going to start to show itself. And I think, I don't mean to be too cynical about it or be the old guy that's get off my lawn. If something is not done dramatic with regard to NIL, I don't know that NCAA football can survive because, in days gone by, football's always been a sport where you have schools that are going to dominate, and the other schools are there for them to beat.
Yes.
Now, though, I don't know. You can't even pretend that that's not what's going on, and I don't know that there is value for schools like, say, Vanderbilt. Why trot out a football team?
Yep.
If you literally can't compete with the rest of your conference, why do it and incur the expense and all the stuff that goes with? Conferences now at this point, one of the byproducts of the conference realignment with these mega conferences is you've taken away the ability to accomplish something.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm playing in the Sun Belt and we're not competing for a national championship, at least I can win a Sun Belt championship.
Right.
Well, when you're undoing these conferences, taking the top schools, and all of them are going to be a part of 2 or 3 different conferences, well, winning that conference is just a step down from winning a national championship. And I think you've got schools in these conferences that can look into the future and realize we can never win a conference championship because we simply can't compete. And you see it and its impact at high school football. Yeah, I had conversations with a couple of head coaches across the state, and, there are comments like, yeah, we've got, recruiters from blah, blah, blah coming in. Okay, well, who are they talking to? Well, they're not really talking to anybody. They're making an initial contact so that 2 years from now, when the kids are in a small school somewhere, they've got a leg up when they try to get them to transfer. But the idea of the high schools being a feeder to the big D1 programs,
it's just not a reality anymore.
Unless you're Jeremiah Smith, you're not going to step in and play as a freshman. And the path forward now is, well, I'm going to go to Pembroke or I'm going to go to Western Carolina, show out, and hopefully transfer to one of these schools, in year 2 or year 3. Well, that's great. Look at there.
Number 8, Jaden Goldwire.
He's nice.
Made a few Cavaliers miss.
Coach Bordeaux, if you're watching our telecast as part of your game prep sometime during the week, Find number 8.
Yes.
So that'll make it 24-10, and Overhills will come out. Conversions have been an adventure. They're 0 for 3 so far today. Looks like they're going to try to kick this one. My point being with the recruiting is the investment of energy and of resources that it takes to get young men through high school to the upper echelon of high school football to be recruited is not the worthwhile endeavor it was at the same frequency. And I think what you're going to see is kids moving on from football, doing different things with that time and energy. But what do I know? All right, that one is good. 25-10. It is a 15-point game, 7:58 to go in the third quarter. We'll take a quick break and be back with the kickoff.
An hour ago, Theo airballed the game-winning shot. But at Zaxby's, he's dunking all over these fools. Zax sauce, bang. Tongue torch, boom. Hot honey mustard. My man's putting on a clinic.
Welcome to Dunk City.
And one, baby.
Thanks, baby. Dude. Babe, dude.
Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week. Kristen Lambert dropping some knowledge on us tonight. Keep going.
One of the things I was saying, if I've got a young man and, all the resources that it takes with camps and training and diet and the rest of that, it's a cost analysis. If it's not, okay, the pipe dream is to go to Tennessee or to Alabama or Texas or wherever, is this worth the investment and the risk that comes with playing high school football if the result is going to, and this isn't meant to disparage any kind of university, but to go to Pembroke or Western Carolina or something of that nature. And at the same time, something nobody seems to be paying attention to, Nathan, college baseball once was not a pathway to a full ride.
Mm-hmm.
You know as well as I do, that was partial scholarships, walk-on. Baseball players did not expect a full ride.
Yep.
Well, with the advent of NIL and this resurgence of college baseball as a televised sport and now a money sport, baseball players are getting full rides. That's going to take away from some of these football players as well, because people that are not engaged in sports don't realize that a lot of these kids that star on Friday nights in football are also stars on the baseball field and the basketball court.
Right.
All right, there's straight ahead, and that'll be a good gain on first down. I think that's Lineberry.
Lineberry on the carry there.
So a lot of dynamics, but I think that the end result is that football becomes some sort of super amateur league, and those Texas and Alabamas and Ohio States of the world tell the NCAA to kick rocks. Simultaneously, if you're paying close attention, the Power 5 schools don't want to play in the NCAA basketball tournament anymore. They want all their schools to play in one tournament, and they may decide to do their own thing. So we'll see. And the NCAA only exists because the colleges want it to.
Yep.
It's not a federally mandated thing or, chartered such that it can't be undone. So I'm interested to see how it goes.
Big things happening. College athletics has definitely changed since my tenure in it. It was a very different organization then.
Well, ask yourself, when you were in college and, John Wooden said something to the effect of coaches possess the ultimate power in the bench. Well, now if you upset a player, they might just go someplace else because there's no penalty. I was actually talking to Mitchell Smith. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He played in the NFL, went to Southwest Johnston, I think. And we were talking the other day about this very same thing. And his thing to me was, when I was at when he played at USC at South Carolina, he was like, we didn't have any choice.
Yeah.
And, if we transferred, we were going to sit out at least 1 year, possibly 2. So, were you going to fall in line and do what the program asked of you? Sure. Now, did that open itself up for abuses and
absolutely
the rest of that? It did, but these college coaches, you're seeing them walk away sooner than you might otherwise, because it can't be a whole lot of fun trying to balance and play to the personality of all the athletes there, where it used to just be like, hey, you're either going to buy in or you're going to sit. Now it's a whole lot more complicated.
Well, and you see that how the programs are adapting as well, where you have a football manager now. I mean, you're seeing whole new roles on football staffs. You know, Bill Belichick, I believe, at Carolina got ostracized at the beginning about this, and all of his extracurriculars, and none of my business. But, you know, he brought in a football manager per se, and it's basically just a general manager like NFL team would have, which, you know, knowing his hierarchy, having lived through the Patriots and the Tom Brady era, you know, it's familiar for him. But you're seeing that in programs across the nation now where that's all these guys are doing. They're really just glorified general managers of, you know, just like you would have of the Panthers. Probably needs to be replaced.
You know, I was going to say that, you know. Well, that stings. They go from 3rd and 1 here to 3rd and 6. There's a pre-snap penalty on the Cavaliers. They got to get back into positive territory here. 25-10 is the score. 6.5 to go in the third quarter. Not a whole lot of possessions, especially at the pace that Southern works at. He flings that one out there. Ooh, I tell you what.
I thought that ball was going to be 30 yards in front of him.
So
Number
did
one,
I.
Jalen Barnes caught up to it.
Harrington knew better than I did, and I think Jalen Barnes was playing possum there and didn't get his hands up to late trying to deke the defender. But the coverage was good, and ultimately it's going to force a punt by Southern as Overhills comes up big on 3rd and 6.
Overhills puts points up here. This game could be getting out of reach for the Cavaliers.
Well, one big play in the special teams, or on special teams for Overhills already. Southern can ill afford another one. And they almost gave up 5 yards there as they ran them in on late, and I still don't think they were set, and they were not. So they got a reprieve there as the center didn't snap the ball when the punter called for it, and everybody got set, and then they reset, and before they were set for that full beat, they're going to draw a flag, and that'll cost them 5 more, and it'll be 4th and 11 for the punt team. Back deep is Jordan McKinnon, who has showed in the run game he can go. So you got to make sure you stay in your lanes on coverage here.
One of the ball boys tonight, Mr. Lineberry, little brother of Tommy Lineberry, doing a great job.
All right, that's going to be over the head of the up man. Bounces 2 or 3 times, now fielded. And here goes Overhills.
Uh-oh.
Yikes.
Uh-oh. And
dragged down, but not until he's back to the 25. Kevin Jones on the return.
Southern Lee is starting to look gassed out here. I think this is where you see players playing both sides of the ball consistently. This is where you start to see it when you have bigger teams that just start leaning on you.
Well, Nate, you talked about Overhills historically. You know, this is year 13 for me. I've seen Overhills turn over a lot of players over the years, but you hit it on the head. This is a team that always rolls out athletes, and this is a gifted group of skill position guys they've got, especially in the speed department. I don't know that Southern Lee is as fast as they normally are. They're undersized, but I don't see a whole lot of burners on this squad, and in a track meet, Overhills, I'll take them over most squads. They got some kids that can run. There's a failed exchange there on the handoff, going to cost Overhills a couple. 2nd and 12 coming up.
Overhills sticking in this doubles formation. 2 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen, going right to left. 2 on the top with a back. Traditional air raid formation.
GVS gets it out there, throws it just out of the reach of the receiver, trying to gold wire in the flat out to the left. Clock stopped at 5:12 in the third.
Any updates on the Lee County score? Last I saw, it was 37-7.
That was the last I had with about 2 minutes to go in the third. We'll check in on that real quick.
Ooh, Max Preps just update. Now it says 16-0.
That sounds a lot. Now that I bet that's reset. I don't know. GVS rolls, slings, got a man, both hands on that, brings it down at the 8. Yeah, that's flipped back. That says 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. I don't know. Max Prep's having week 1 issues too.
As we said multiple times already, it's week 1. Everyone's still trying to work the kinks out. I'm just thankful, Chris, that Hurricane Aaron decided to stay out, not come affect week 1 football.
Yeah, that was a consideration just a few days ago. But I was commenting before you got back up in the booth. This is a beautiful night, isn't it?
Oh, it's perfect. Perfect night. High school OT has it 37-0 in the second quarter, so I have a feeling that one has not been updated either.
Union Pines up 28-6 on Westover in the fourth.
GVA back. He throws it off his back foot. It's got a man. They're calling him out of bounds at the reception. He did catch it, but he was out of bounds. That will bring up a 3rd and goal here for the Jaguars.
GVS takes the snap, throws it out in the flat just off the fingertips of the receiver, led him a little bit too far.
So your Reds doing pretty okay this year?
Not bad at all. They're right there with the Mets for that final wild card spot in the National League. And Reds got a guy about to come up off the farm, Sal Stewart, who is as ballyhooed a prospect as they've had on the offensive side in quite a while. He's about a year ahead of schedule, and they don't have any choice but to bring him up at this point. So, yeah, Reds playing good baseball.
Good.
Ooh, nice catch.
Good pitch
and run
catch.
And into the end zone for a touchdown. And that was a dangerous throw by GVS, but it's converted, and that's Goldwire punches it in, and that'll stretch this out to 31-10, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, and Overhills has got their foot on the gas.
As a Cubs fan, had a pretty good season so far. All-Star break was not fantastic for the Cubs, but they just put together a good series, winning a 5-game series with the Brewers. So going 3-2. So any lead that they can chomp away.
Well, I tell you, that Brewers team is just good.
Yes, it is.
They are something else.
MLB playoffs will be very interesting. We've got about a month and a couple of weeks before that starts. My favorite time of year for sports, Chris.
Yeah, it's a great time. We actually made the trip up to Bristol to the Speedway for the Reds-Braves game at the Speedway.
Nice.
We were there for day 1 and couldn't stay for the resumption of the game 2. But, man, what a setup. That was something else. And people, if you read about it, you know, there were some logistical issues because the rain kind of messed everything up. But that was cool to be a part of. That was fun. And, you know, I get to say I was at the highest attendance game in MLB history. So that was cool.
100 something, right?
They put it. I think the final count was about 93,000.
93,000.
Now the second day when they actually played the game, my uncle and cousin were there. They said there was about 20,000 people on hand, but it was cool. It was really neat that they set it up that way, and I'd like to see MLB do some stuff. Maybe not back at Bristol, but at other places. Now that they've demonstrated they could do it, it was cool.
I have been to Bristol myself, not to see baseball, but to see a NASCAR night race a time or two. And I got to tailgate once when the University of Tennessee played football in the infield.
Nice.
So that was fun. I did not find my way into the stadium that day.
I believe that one of the Tennessee games at Bristol is the biggest attendance for a college football game. I think it was about 122,000.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is a lot of people.
And I don't know where all those people stay in Bristol, Tennessee, because there's not a whole lot up there.
Well, we waited until late to get tickets to that game, and there wasn't a hotel room anywhere within about 40 miles of Bristol, it seemed like.
That sounds right.
So we drove up with the intent of coming back, and would have figured something out, except that I had a child with me, and he had to be at work the next day, so we didn't have an option to stick around.
There you go.
So we drove overnight after having got out of there. We got home about 4:30, and I went and played golf at 8 o'clock next morning. That was not a great idea.
Ooh, I believe I might would have stayed in bed.
Honey, if you're listening, yes, you're right. It was a bad idea.
Mark that down, Mr. Lambert.
She's usually right.
That is the correct answer. As is my wife. I think we both did a great job of marrying women who are much prettier and smarter than us.
Indeed. Correct on both counts. All right, Harrington from under center. Drops, hands off, and into the belly, which hadn't gotten him much today.
That was number 24, Jack Mitchell on the carry. Mr. South is going to have to figure out this helmet situation.
Yeah.
I came up in the old school ways with an old school father who believe would have walked to the sideline at halftime with a pair of clippers and told me to shave the lion's mane off. But nonetheless, he is off for another play due to his helmet coming off. And that young man is too valuable to be on the sideline.
He was one I was excited to see looking at the stats from last year and is not disappointed.
Good comeback route there for the Cavaliers. Gain of about 6 there for Jalen Barnes, and he is down. We would never speculate on the injury, but this time of year it generally is cramps. But nonetheless, while he is attended to, we will take a quick break to hear from our sponsor. Be back to see the end of the third quarter.
All you do is win, 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 no matter what. We got you on our minds, we can never get enough. Every time you step into our building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. All you do is win, win, win. Put your hands in the air when you go there.
Visit us Sanford.com or call 1-855-461-9595. Classic Nissan Sanford.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. My name is Rich Trogdon, and we are First Bank.
We asked for another commercial there and didn't quite get it. We were a little too slow on the draw there, Nathan.
I believe on my schedule tonight after this ball game, with my wife currently up in the mountains doing her weekend doctoral work and my son with my mother tonight, I believe I might sit my rear end in my chair and play a little bit of PGA 25 on the PlayStation 5 that Chris so eloquently talked me into buying last year.
Hey, Miss Cochran, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
my bad.
She plays it as much as I do.
What?
Yeah.
You got one up on me. My wife won't touch it. All she wants to do is fuss. I think I'm going home and play FIFA or MLB.
Ooh, see, I haven't played MLB since the old PlayStation 3
buddy.
days. I feel like I need to.
Let me tell you, man, MLB The Show is the truth. But don't buy it this late in the season. Just wait till next year. It's an awesome game. It's an awesome game, and I am obsessed with Negro League Baseball and the stuff that they do with that, with the tie-in with the old players and the rest of that. That to me is the thing, man. I am obsessed with it, and it's awesome.
You know, my wife makes fun of me. She says that I am selectively cheap, that I will spend money on things that I really want to spend money on, but then if I'm not very passionate about it, I won't. I'm selectively cheap.
Oh yeah.
And I refuse to pay full price for a PlayStation game. I wait for them to go on sale.
Oh well,
so
then
MLB,
wait another month, and you'll be able to get it for about $10.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
See, I'm different on that on the games. If I'm going to get them, I'm going to get them right when they come out, and I've already pre-purchased FIFA 26. Any day now, we should have advance access because not only did I buy it, but I paid the whole premium, whatever, because I'm silly.
You know what? We work hard. Might as well have some fun.
This is true.
You can't take it with you. I've never seen a hearse slap full of money put into it. Might as well have a little bit of fun while you're here.
And I live a pretty pedestrian life, man. I play a lot of golf. I work. I come home and play video games. That's really like the extent of my existence.
Could be a lot worse.
Could
be a lot worse.
Oh, it's not a complaint. Because I could certainly do a lot more things. But no, I am at a point in my life where I am not looking for more things to do. Speaking of golf, man, when we going to hit that ball?
When you want to.
Well, I don't know as we speak, but we will work that out.
I think we need to get the boys back together. You, me, Mr. Palmy.
We could do it.
Get a fourth, have a good time.
We could do it.
One of my favorite courses that Mr. DeLambert and I played last year, he got to see the most abysmal round of golf that I'd played in multiple years at Pinehurst number 8.
I was right there with you, buddy.
That was an abysmal day. We went back and played it this year.
Really?
And yeah, we bought the same package,
okay.
Same thing from the previous year. And not the best score I've ever recorded, but I would say it was probably the best round of golf I've ever played, because anyone who's played a Tom Fazio course or anyone ever played Pinehurst number 8, it is very, very challenging. Shot a 91. I was very, very happy with it.
I'm impressed. I remember going up to the starter's house on that and them saying, there are people that say it's as tough as number 2. And then dealing with 18 tortoiseshell greens that we could not get the ball to stay on. That was fun.
I will say I left my wedge in my bag, and I ended up putting onto the green more often than not.
Yeah. By the time we finished, that was the strategy that I was employing, because I couldn't get a wedge to hold that green all day.
Nope.
Or any green, rather. But it was a great time, and good company. It was a blast.
Yeah, it was a good one. The bent grass green. The greens were a lot they would hold a lot better this year.
Oh, good.
Because they had just redone them, and so it was like concrete. For any golfers at home, they can relate to that. Beautiful course, though. We are truly blessed. I sometimes take for granted how awesome of golf we have within a 50-mile radius of us.
It is really, I mean, you're spoiled for options. And when I talk to people from the rest of the country and they figure out where I live in relation to Pinehurst and all of the golf that's associated with it, they're like, oh, my gosh. And, yeah, it's not a bad place to be if you enjoy swinging a golf club.
I was in New Jersey at a corporate golf outing back in the end of July that's mainly for the Northeast, but in my new position I get to attend. And when I would talk to people, they'd be like, so where are you in North Carolina? And I go, well, I'm close to Raleigh. And they go, okay, well, we don't know where that is. We live in New York City. And I'd go, are you Army? Nope. All right, so you don't know Fort Bragg / Fort Liberty, soon to be Fort Bragg again, but you do know golf because you're here, and I'm 20 minutes from Pinehurst.
Whoa.
And everyone gets excited. And they always go, have you played at Pinehurst? I was like, yes, I've played multiple of them.
Yeah, I've only played 2 of the courses. I've not gotten a chance to play number 2.
that is something I have to make happen here in the next couple of years.
I have played 1, 4, 8, and 10 now, and the Cradle, of course.
Yeah, if you're going to throw it out there, you might as well say you've played the Cradle as one of them.
Ten was definitely the hardest one that I had played. It was long. From the whites, it was like 67 and some change. It was rough.
Another Cavalier down. I think we may see some more cramping here. Feet sticking straight in the air is generally a giveaway as the training staff attends to the down Cavalier. We'll take another break. We have come to the conclusion of the third quarter. We'll be back for fourth quarter action shortly. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
WilkinsonCars.com. Come visit us at our new location in Sanford. With the same great staff and the same great service. Test drive one of our many different vehicles. Check out our state-of-the-art service department and collision center, where our team can have you back on the road in no time. We're right across from Walmart at 3335 North Carolina 87 South. Schedule your appointment online at WilkinsonCars.com or call us at 919-842-3322. We guarantee we're the place to be at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC.
Good morning. I'm with the Sanford and Broadway Piggly Wiggly here, and at the Sanford store it's undergone humongous renovations. We have a full-service salad bar, wing bar, breakfast counter, and dinner counter. We're also about to be doing a dairy bar, including ice cream, shaved ice, and milkshake.
Hello, my name is Johnny Whiteside. I own Kendall Pawn Shop in the Kendall area of Sanford. We've been in business for 45 years now this year. We haven't been in business that long by not taking care of customers. We sell all kinds of firearms, electronics, tools of every kind you can imagine. Hello, my name is Johnny Whiteside. I own Kendall Pawn Shop in the Kendall area of Sanford. We've been in business for 45 years now this year. We haven't been in business that long by not taking care of customers. We sell all kinds of firearms, electronics, tools of every kind you can imagine.
Hi, my name is Jose, and I'm the manager here at La Cumplidora grocery store in Sanford. Here at La Cumplidora, we have a large variety of Mexican and Latin American products. We have a large butcher shop with different types of cuts of meat. We have a deli where you can get your traditional Mexican food, a bakery where you can get your pastries. We have piñatas, hot sauces, all the ingredients you might need to create your dishes. We just want to say thank you, and I hope you stop by.
All right, welcome back to Sanford, North Carolina. Fourth quarter action here as the Cavaliers, an injured player there, but quite obviously cramp. Not a whole lot of fun, man.
No,
I mean, you're always like, we hope it's a cramp, but really, in what other context would you say that? I hope you have a cramp, Nate.
Not fun. Get that young man some pickle juice. Make him chug it before bed tonight.
All right. Fielding in at quarterback. Takes a snap.
It's a hamstring cramp,
looking, and almost picked. High throw. Receiver got a hand on it, tipped it up in the air, and Lineberry almost had him one.
Number 13, Michael Aduse-Anim. It's a wide receiver on that attempt.
All right, 3rd and 10 for the Jaguars.
That young man is definitely working out a cramp. He's got a trainer over there with a roller rolling his hamstring, and that is one of the most painful cramps in my opinion, that you can have.
Here's the hand looking for space around the left side.
Oh,
and
he
gonna
turned
get
on some
there
jets.
and spun down at the 46, about 3 yards short of the sticks, but there's a hold, and Southern Lee will definitely take that penalty.
All of our viewers at home, Chris and I were talking during commercial break, which is a more iconic and which is a more fun baseball stadium to go to between Wrigley and Fenway. As a Cubs fan, I have been to both, and I will say begrudgingly.
Oh, I'm stunned that you're going to do that.
Fenway is, I think the amenities at Fenway are a little bit nicer, but both of them are iconic.
Oh, yeah,
You've got to visit them both.
Yeah.
I got to do a 3-night stand in June at Fenway against the Angels, and man, it is one of a kind.
Well, I am jealous because I have, people say all the time, I want to get to every stadium. That is, I am committed to doing that. I haven't been to Fenway or to Wrigley. I have an uncle who I kind of got my baseball fandom from at a very young age. He's been to both in the last few years, and he told me you have to go to Fenway.
Mm-hmm.
Wrigley was fun. He was great, but he said Fenway is that spot, and he was blown away. And he's telling me about all the history and the ladder and all the rest. He also suggested if I go to Fenway to do the tour. He said it really is worthwhile. So you did that?
Yep. I was there on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I did the tour Monday morning with a client, and we'd been Sunday night, we went Monday night, and went Tuesday night.
Oh, bad snap.
It is
Southern going to catch a break here. Great field position as they'll take over at about the 16-yard line.
I will say the tour at Wrigley is also very, very cool. I've done them both. Just Sweet Caroline in the 7th inning in Fenway. There is something special about that.
Well, that's on the list. We were scheduled to go to Baltimore this year and check that one off, and that was I was coming out of surgery and wasn't really getting around. And up until the day before the series started, I was like, I might be able to take a train up there. Ultimately didn't pull the trigger. We did get to the Speedway this year. Last year we went to D.C., and if you haven't got a chance to go out there, that's a nice park.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a really cool experience. We went and caught a couple of Nationals-Reds games. So we're starting to make our way around, and I think next year, for whatever reason, the MLB schedule's not out yet. It normally has been out. We're trying to see. We're hoping that they play Minnesota again this year because we want an excuse to go to Minneapolis and do that.
Yes,
but we'll see. One way or the other, we're committed to make a couple of trips next year, and my wife not a huge baseball fan, but is a huge travel fan, so it works out.
You got to give and take on that, right? You'll take her, and she'll get to travel. And Minneapolis is a pretty fun city, I will say. I have not been to the baseball stadium. I've not been to the Twin Stadium. Is it actually Minneapolis, or is it in St. Paul?
I think it's in Minneapolis, but I'm not certain.
I got to see the construction of the new football stadium
a
few years back, and I've gotten to do a tour of there since construction was completed, and it is fantastic.
All right, Harrington drops and throws it up there, and not able to come down with it is the receiver who got his hands on it. It was in traffic, but unable to bring it in. Be second down.
And if
I don't understand why a team like Minnesota would want to play their football inside a dome. It would seem like a built-in home field advantage, for at least half of the season. Of course, I'm not the one that has to go out and play in that mess, but
you see it every year. Guys get inebriated by different substances and get out shirtless at Lambeau, and before you know it, some guy's being hauled off for hypothermia. It might have been a liability issue.
It could be. I think you're on notice, though, if you show up at a game that's 0 degrees and you take your shirt off. I think, and I don't know what the laws are in New York. I know that in North Carolina, being a contributory negligence state, that if you were to take your clothes off in that weather, you would undo anybody else's responsibility to pay you damages.
Well, yeah, they used to give out this thing called the Darwin Award. I don't know if they still do or not, but I feel like if you consume so much substances at Lambeau, in January in negative 10-degree weather in the snow and you decide to run out in your skimpies, well, you kind of get what you get.
Hard to argue with, sir. Hard to argue with. 3rd and 3. And there's the hand inside. Nothing doing. That defensive front for Overhills has been tough to get.
He squeaked through.
Did he get out, or did that ball fumble and pop into somebody else's hands? Anyway, one way or the other, it's a first down for Southern Lee. 10-12 to go, so not out of the realm of possibility. And we have seen some early season, I don't even know what to call, unexpected comebacks over the years. So 10-12 to go. Southern Lee threatening here. Definitely needs to punch in and can't take too long to do it.
Harrington under center. And bobbled the snap.
And looks like Southern got it back. Nope, they did not.
Overhills ball.
And that is probably a signal that it's time to warm up the bus. Bad break there for Southern. Harrington never got up to his hands, I don't think. And that ball's out. And the wind that had gathered in their sails is now out, and Overhills will be looking to put a stamp on this and take away any possibility or potential for late game drama.
I'd imagine we're going to see a heavy dose of the run here from the Jaguars. Just start eating this clock 25 seconds at a time.
Well, new tailback in the game. And there's a bobbled snap, and now the quarterback trying to get out of there. That's GVS. He's going to be wrapped up, thrown down at the 10-yard line. No gain on the play. No, couple. I can't see across because the glare is killing me at this point.
That was a gain of about 5 for the Jaguars. Bring up 2nd and 5. 9-10 left to go here in the fourth quarter, sorry. Let's not put that back into the atmosphere.
All right, 2 backs into the backfield now for Overhills. Clock running inside 9 minutes. And there's the hand inside and plenty of room. That's going to be an Overhills first down, I believe. Yep, they're going to give it to him, wave the chains along. And the clock will run as soon as they reset those chains. 8:40 and counting as soon as they wave this thing back live.
Chris, it always amazes me how many young kids are here. And I got to give shout out to all of those parents. As a father of a 6-year-old, I believe my son would have burned something down at this point, being out this late.
I have not had a 6-year-old in my life for so long, I don't even remember what that's like.
Huh. If you ever want to borrow one.
I'm good. Actually, you wouldn't want me to have him because he'd come home so spoiled because the answer to everything would be yes, knowing that he had to go back to mom and dad. That's how we do our grandkids.
That's what you're supposed to do.
It is, and I'm very clear on what's going to happen when we have possession of them, that they're going to do whatever they want to within reason, and then they're going to get to Grandpa, they're going to get to listen to me spit wisdom.
Do you have a chair to sit and spit wisdom in?
I don't, but I need to get one, and you will find at some point in your life that, the best or the most important thing that I've done with my grandkids up to this point is that they anointed me with my name. And the oldest 2, when they were old enough to make a decision, discussed it. And after careful consideration, they anointed me Poppy.
Poppy, okay.
So I am Poppy, and my wife is Jaja. So Poppy and Jaja, and we are, I don't care what anybody says, we are the favorite grandparents. But we get the oldest of the kids. Oh, that's going the other way.
Whoa, Southern Lee's going to score on this one, pending a blade of grass tripping him.
Just when you thought this might be over, 'tis not.
Number 1, Jalen Barnes on the scoop and score. Overhills running an option play there that went disastrous very quickly.
I don't understand what the back has his hands out for, like what just happened. I don't know.
You bobbled the ball. That's what happened.
You put it on the ground, son. And it went the other way, and now all of a sudden, I said there might not be any late game drama. I might have spoke too soon. It's a 16-point game here. Southern gonna try the extra point here. I see some dismay, and I'm with you. I think a couple cracks at 2 is better than getting this down to the point where you might need 1. So anyway, this to cut it to a 15-point game, 7:40 to go. So you play a little defense, you can get the ball back twice. Hold is down, kick is up, kick is good.
Now let's see how special teams are coaching the onside kick.
Let's
Too
see.
early for an onside?
Well, UP. It's the baby blue. Overhills hadn't any sustained drives tonight.
That's true.
Been big plays, so a big plays can score from 35 or 40 just like it can from 80. I don't think I might have started onside kicking a long time ago. If I'm Lee County, I'm not sure I'm not onside kicking from the beginning of the game when they play them in a couple weeks, because these guys have not shown any inclination or ability to sustain a drive. But boy, I tell you what, they get a guy into space, they'll get you.
Dangerous.
So let's see what we got. Kessler Petrarca has done a lot tonight. Let's see what his onside game looks like. Or, look, Fred Blanks. I love Fred, and Fred's the most predictable guy out there. I wouldn't be surprised if they kick it deep, and he puts it on the defense, tells them go stop them.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
But in these situations, I ask myself, Nate, what would Don do?
Don would place the ball on the 40. I can tell you exactly. Don Simon would tell Richard McCollum to land the ball on the 40.
Wedge right down there to the 40 and take your chances.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen.
Here comes Petrarca, and nope, the onside attempt. Got to go 10 yards, and I tell you what, a little bit more oomph on that. That'd have been something, but it rolls dead, and Overhills falls on it. They'll take over at the 49. And look, the way they're returning kicks and all the rest of that, you might have given up 20, 25 yards of field position. I'll take it. It's worth a risk.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that sentiment 100%. If you haven't practiced placing kicks places, which is an incredibly difficult skill to have, you would think for viewers at home it'd be, just don't kick it as hard. It is not that simple. It is a very, very hard thing to do. I think that was the best option there for Coach Blanks and the Cavaliers.
All right, now they got to play some defense. Fielding back in at quarterback. Ball's on the ground. And Overhills, man, all of a sudden trying to keep this interesting.
Still a 15-point lead, 7:25 left to go and clicking. I would imagine they're going to run this play clock all the way down. Although they're getting out of their rhythm, and I have to wonder if sometimes that plays a part.
And I tell you what, they snapped that with almost 20 seconds left on the clock.
Big stop there.
Really is. 3rd and long coming up. You got 3rd and 16, 17 coming up.
Johnny Kershaw, the sophomore offensive and defensive lineman we talked about pregame, and I have a feeling his name's going to be called a lot here at Cletus B. Gore Stadium in the next couple of years.
Agreed. Defense, find 8. He's in the slot on the left side.
Southern Lee still sitting with one man high.
I will bet you dollars to donuts in this look, 8's getting this ball. No, he's looking right. Nope, now he comes back across and floats it out there and throws it well short of the sticks. It's incomplete. Wouldn't have had anything. They still would have had a lot to work to do if he had caught that. And I tell you what, Overhills, you want to talk about a bad drive.
That was rough.
They burned 37 seconds off the clock. And they're going to punt this away. Boy.
Has Southern Lee called a timeout yet this half?
Nope.
Still sitting with 3 in the hand.
Oof.
If they can get some quick points up here, very easily could be back in this ball game.
All right, Jalen Barnes already made one big play in this game. He's back there, and he's about right where I'd have him if I was lining him up based on where these punts have landed. He'll be looking to make a splash play here.
Southern Lee needs to get a man out. There it is.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What do we got?
Going to be a delay game. That's White Hat's call. Yep, there it is. 5 yards back. I'd put this man's heels right at the 40-yard line on the hash. Overhills had some trouble with some snaps.
That's right.
That snap was a dribbler.
And that was a good snap. They're coming. They don't get to it. The kick is out there. That's the nicest punt of the night for
and going to get a good roll.
Overhills. Gets a good roll. It'd be about the 25-yard line where Southern will take over. And I swear that if I see a fullback dive, I'm going home.
All right. I'd expect to see a heavy dose of Harrington to Petrarcas. Petrarca?
Petrarca.
If I ever get a chance to meet that young man, I'm going to ask him the root country of origin of that last name.
That's a good question. I think, where did our timeout come from here? Did you see a signal, Nathan?
I did not.
I did not either. All right, this is high drama now. High-ish. 6:12 to go, down 2 scores. Southern at home with a chance to really do something cool.
You know, for years, Chris, we talked about the culture here at Southern Lee and the specifically culture around the football program. There were years that we saw these stands with 10 people.
It was hard.
20
man.
people. It was hard.
Oh, it was hard.
It was hard to be up here and watch. And looking tonight, you know, we've had some people straggle out, and you know, some parents taking kids home and all that, which is understandable. But still, for week 1, school being in session for a week and a half, great turnout here for the Cavaliers.
Yep, and when you look at that sideline, you like the body language, you like the engagement. One of the other things that you got to like is that you've got more than 3 people with polo shirts on. And trying to get out the left side, can't quite get there, and the runner is down.
He took a helmet on the knee.
Yeah, he did. That never is going to feel good. Hopefully it's the bang and not what the bang caused that is the problem, but that's going to bring us to a screeching halt here as they tend to the injured Cavalier. 6 minutes to go in the 4th. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
An hour ago, Theo airballed the game-winning shot. But at Zaxby's, he's dunking all over these fools. Zax sauce, bang. Tongue torch, boom. Hot honey mustard. My man's putting on a clinic.
Welcome to Dunk City.
And one, baby.
Thanks, baby. Dude. Babe, dude.
Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Nope.
All right, welcome back to Sanford. Southern Lee trying to mount a comeback here or finish off a comeback here. It's already started. They've cut this lead down to 15. They got 6 minutes to go. Ball at the 25-yard line, 2nd and 10. And, you know, if you've been Harrington, this is the kind of thing you sort of dreamed about. Oh, and the ball's out again. That's twice.
And Overhills is signaling it's theirs.
And that is a product of youth. And there is a gigantic moth that just flew in here that is flittering its wings down there on the floor now.
Oh, wow.
That's a big guy. Man, oh, man. Well, just as quickly as they got the momentum, it's snatched away. We'll see what they can do. Overhill's going to need to do a better job of killing clock than they did last time out. Fielding back in there at quarterback. Yet another rotation of backs into the game. This time it's Braden Bryant into the backfield with Fielding. Fielding drops, throws, gets it out wide, incomplete pass. 3 seconds off the clock. Not sure I get this.
I'm picking up what you're putting down there, Chris. I believe I'd be putting that that ball in the belly.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's check around Central Carolina here. See what we got going on. Harnett Central wins over. Oh my goodness, good running, good hard running, and still going all the way down inside the 10. 55-7 Harnett Central over Northwood.
Wow.
Tell you, Harnett Central's going to be good, buddy. Cardinal Gibbons 24-6 going into the fourth quarter against Dudley.
First and goal.
Surprise, surprise. Cardinal Gibbons is loaded for this year.
No.
Middle Creek was in a good one with Fuquay, and then Middle Creek just decided to quit fooling around. 37-7 is the final at Middle Creek. Fuquay Varina gets waylaid. There's a run up the middle, and ball's out. And I think Southern got on that. No, they're signaling the other way. Overhills comes out with it. I don't know who the quarterback's yelling at, but Fielding not happy with something and doesn't have a lid, so GVS will check into the game. The Lee County score is just messed up. We had it at one point 37-6 in the third quarter, but Max Preps has reset this thing, and it's been stuck on 16-0 for a long time now. I don't know what's going on there. And I don't know if there's anybody I can text. Cleveland 39, Pinecrest 13. That's kind of a shock.
Ooh.
And Overhills into the end zone. However, there is laundry on the field.
Quite
coming off the board.
Quite a few of guys that I coached with are now coaching over at Pinecrest, and I will not be texting them tomorrow because that usually ends up in my head getting bit off after a loss. So Pinecrest, a storied program, quite the story actually.
Yeah. All right, Hope County out in front of Monroe, 25-20 right now. Not sure where that game is at. Ooh, and Dillon and Scotland, this is shaping up to be a barn burner. They're in the fourth. Scotland's pulled to within 5, 33-28. Dillon's still up. Getting late in that one. Throws it out there. Good defense. And third down coming up. Clock at 4.5, 4:28 to go.
Dillon, South Carolina has historically had a really, really good program.
Well, so has Scotland, North Carolina.
That's why they play each other. Oh, the Scotland coach, Richard. What is Richard's last name? Drawing a blank on his name at the moment, but that man has forgotten more about football than most people will ever know.
That's a fact. You talking about legitimate high school royalty. And there's a flag as the receivers on the right side of the formation got off to an early start.
Looks like we might have another unsportsmanlike on Overhills.
Jordan gets past Leesville Road. That game is the final. Jordan 22, Leesville Road 20.
Is that Durham Jordan or Jordan Matthews?
Durham Jordan.
Durham Jordan. That tracks a lot more.
Yeah, I was surprised by the question.
Personal foul. Overhills.
Mount Airy over Starmount 21-6.
Okay.
Northern Guilford over Western Alamance 28-7. Western Alamance kind of the little brother of the county schools.
Any update on the Eastern Randolph?
Let's see if we can find it. You did mention Jordan Matthews. Jordan Matthews in a barn burner with Carborough. 15-14 Carborough in the fourth quarter.
All right. I might put on the two-picture screen tonight and put the Cubs baseball game on one and try to put a high school OT on the other.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like a terrible plan either.
No, it's not. Weddington beats Mooresville 31-10.
Okay. Weddington.
Eastern Randolph final over Southern Alamance 20-8.
Okay. Southern Alamance historically a pretty good program as well.
Yes, indeed.
I believe you broadcasted a game there in an ice storm.
Sure did. Sure did. That wasn't any fun.
Yeah. I was on top of a sloped roof. Uh-oh.
Big sack here. 4:23 to go. Fourth and a mile coming up, literally a mile, as Fielding's taken down deep in his own territory. And we went all the way from first and goal territory negated by a penalty all the way back to midfield.
Still technically fourth and goal, but fourth and goal from the 50.
Jeez.
Golly. Southern Lee had a great blitz package on there.
Yeah, they did.
Brought in a guy from the A-gap and two guys from the edge here. Your interior lineman crashed in. Great blitz package there.
Here's the punt. And nobody deep. Ball's going to roll dead inside the 10, about the 7-yard line.
That's a good punt.
Southern going to have to do it right now. 2 timeouts in their pocket for Southern, if I'm not mistaken.
Good punt there for the Jaguars. Anytime you can pin them down in the 10-yard line or less, that's a good punt. Ben Harrington coming out. Let's see some gunslinging.
Yeah, at this point, you can't even pretend balance. I think you just got to spread them out and go.
Yeah. And I don't believe I'd put him under center. He's had 2.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, but I'm not sure that they practice the shotgun enough that they're comfortable doing it. That's something we talk about a lot is, you have to kind of be one or the other, and they just ran fullback dive for no gain, and now they have a player cramping on the field.
Well, clock will stop.
All right. Tend to the injured player, and we'll be right back after these messages. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. My name is Rich Trogdon, and we are First Bank.
WilkinsonCars.com. Come visit us at our new location in Sanford. With the same great staff and the same great service. Test drive one of our many different vehicles. Check out our state-of-the-art service department and collision center, where our team can have you back on the road in no time. We're right across from Walmart at 3335 North Carolina 87 South. Schedule your appointment online at WilkinsonCars.com or call us at 919-842-3322. We guarantee we're the place to be at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC.
We love Camelback because of the loaded nachos here and the burgers.
I'm here at Camelback Brewing, and they have some of my favorite food in Sanford. The buffalo chicken dip is a must-get along with the onion rings. The staff is fantastic, and the people are always great. It's a good time here.
Camelback, for all you do, this sud's for you.
Hello, my name is Johnny Whiteside. I own Kendall Pawn Shop in the Kendall area of Sanford. We've been in business for 45 years now this year. We haven't been in business that long by not taking care of customers. We sell all kinds of firearms, electronics, tools of every kind you can imagine.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by DeLambert Stone Law Firm for all of your legal needs. From everything from estate planning to DUIs to murder charges to divorces.
Facts.
They can do it all.
Facts. And, yeah.
As much as I love to spend time with Krista Lambert and Matt Stone, I try my hardest to stay out of your office.
Nobody ever comes to our office happy to share good news. But we there's not a whole lot we can't help with. And actually adding to the team, we got a new attorney we'll be bringing on in the next couple of weeks. I think she's set to start September 9th. We're fired up about that.
Very nice.
And I think we've about outgrown our location. So if you've got some real estate you want to sell me somewhere near the courthouse in downtown, let me know.
Where is your current location?
We're about a block and a half from the courthouse on Elm Street.
Okay.
At the intersection of Elm and Birch. You'll see the big DeLambert Stone sign out there. And, yeah, we have 3 attorneys and then 3 full-time staff and a couple of part-time folks that work as legal clerks and things like that. But we are fresh out of space. And I'm actually going to go look at some property on Hawkins that's available. Hoping next week to take a look at that, and that'll be the next step for us. And at some point, we're going to have to open a Harnett County location.
Right on.
Haven't figured out how quickly we're going to move on that, but it won't be long now.
They're in Lillington, North Carolina?
They're in Lillington. We have a robust practice in Lee County and a robust practice in Harnett. In fact, sometimes it feels like we do more in Harnett than we do Lee. We will do work in Chatham and Moore County, and if the situation's right in Cumberland. Nice run, one of the nicer runs of the night for Lee, given the time and circumstances concerning it. I don't know that Overhills is going to be overly pressed about that. 2.5 to go, and Southern Lee operating with a little less urgency than you might expect in this situation.
So your third attorney coming in. What is
the fourth?
What
we
fourth?
Already got, we've already got 3 attorneys.
Excuse me, you're fourth. What is her book of business special to you?
She is a new attorney, freshly graduated from Campbell, but she's worked for us for the last 2 years, and she'll be doing a blend of family and criminal. She will probably be about 60% family law, 40% criminal.
Very nice.
And we know what we're getting. She's been with us, and she's worked in a capacity as a clerk, and we've just been waiting for her to get licensed so she can come on board. We're excited about it. She's awesome. She's going to be a fantastic attorney.
So congratulations to that young woman for passing the bar and getting her state certification.
We'll know for certain here in a couple of days, but I am confident. I don't have any doubts about her ability to pass the bar. I'm more certain that she passed the bar than I was that I passed the bar. So there we are.
One of my roommates from college went on to law school and passed the bar, and I went to go see him one night there in Raleigh, and he showed me his prep book for the bar, and I go, and I'm out. I'm not interested in this.
I've been to combat 3 times. I've never done anything as difficult as prepare and pass the bar. That's going to the house the other way on the pick. That tip ball into the hands of a defender, and Ryan Coley, who led Overhills in receiving last year, by the way, on defense makes a big play. We haven't seen hasn't had his number called much in the passing game, but a nice pick there and going the other way. And I'm starting to mess my words up because I really am losing my mind. No, I do have to say that passing the bar exam was the most difficult thing I've ever done, in part because it did not work. It was not consistent with my brain. The prep is legit 6 to 8 weeks of 8 to 10 hours every single day preparing, and that's, me, I'm ADD, man. That was tough. But I have no doubt that she has gotten through it okay, and she's actually sort of in anticipation of that is actually, as of this morning, in France for a couple weeks.
Oh, very nice.
So, and another flag, 1:55 to go.
Going to be a hold France is on my bucket list.
There are not many places in Europe I've been. I've been to France, and that is fun. We're headed to New Zealand next year.
Right on. That'll be
it's gonna
fun.
Pretty cool. I have not been to New Zealand or Australia, both of which are places I want to go. And my wife has an opportunity to go do some training in New Zealand, so we're going to turn it into a couple of weeks of vacation. I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. We are currently planning for Christmas of 2026. We're going to be spending it in Eastern Europe.
Okay.
We're going to fly into Germany and then hit Austria and then finish in the Czech Republic in Prague.
Well.
See some friends in Prague and then make the journey back.
Well, one day over a beverage, I'll tell you about the time I got stuck in Austria. That was fun.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
No, it wasn't fun. It was the opposite of fun, but I'll tell you all about it some other time. Yeah, stuck on a train in the snow with no power for 4 days. That was amazing.
Oof, that sounds not fun.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, that's our next big trip. We did.
I don't think there's any chance you're going to get stuck in the snow for 4 days on a train with no power. And you'll love it, man. It's beautiful, and it will give you perspective if you haven't been. For anybody out there at home that hasn't spent time in other parts of the world, the sense of history and how different it is from the United States, where we think everything happened in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Nathan.
Yes, sir.
This tidbit has been rattling around in my brain, and I just can't get over it. Do you know what the oldest constantly occupied city? Well, I wouldn't expect you to know what it is. The oldest constantly occupied city on the planet. When would you think that it was first settled and established?
So I would have to imagine it's somewhere there in the cradle of life. So we'll be thinking Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia. So we're going to go Baghdad.
How long ago?
10,000 years.
Oh,
I have no idea.
That was a wild guess. The oldest constantly occupied city on the planet, founded in 3200 BC.
Okay.
That's 5,200 years ago. It's Luxor, Egypt.
Egypt, okay.
And just for context sake, when Alexander the Great sacked that city and went through, it had already been there for 2,000 years.
And
that's crazy, man.
We've got a
little skirmish.
Borderline brawl.
A little skirmish. All right.
So Luxor, Egypt.
Luxor, Egypt. 3200 BC it was founded.
So I was a little farther east.
Well, you were.
I didn't have a bad region.
You weren't too far off.
Didn't have a bad region. Egypt is, I would love to see the pyramids and the Sphinx, but I hear Egypt, we are given a list when you're a certain level in our company of countries you are allowed to visit and countries you are not allowed to visit. And Egypt is currently on the not allowed.
Interesting.
It is on the not allowed list.
Interesting.
I guess kidnapping and ransoms are happening in Egypt. I don't know. I would love to go to Cairo, though. I'd love to see the pyramids and the sphinxes. And I hear Egypt actually has a pretty extensive golf culture there. So a lot of golf in Egypt.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I watched a video of a guy on Instagram, like every other gluttonous American with social media, where he was doing sand surfing, where he takes a big wind sail and puts it on a board with wheels. That looks like fun.
I have seen that. That's crazy.
Number 12, Caleb Coro.
I had the opportunity with work to potentially go to Turkey.
Turkey's awesome.
And I could not make my schedule align, but that was on my list of. I was very quickly to say yes.
Well, by virtue of a pretty wild life that I've lived, I've had the chance to go to Turkey briefly. Where I didn't get to, and I desperately want to go back to Europe to get to, is Greece. I'd like to go spend some time in Greece.
Yep. If you haven't added Portugal to that list,
been to Portugal.
I would Absolutely.
Been to Portugal. And Portugal's fun. Spain is fun.
I think I'm the oddity. I thoroughly enjoyed Portugal. I did not love Spain.
Did you not?
No.
Interesting.
I'm glad I went. Got to do some really cool things.
Sure,
Got to go see Alhambra down there in Granada, and it was the last Muslim stronghold through the Crusades, which is a fantastic structure to go look at, and the history and the food. But that was right at the beginning of and we're not talking politics, but right at the beginning of the mass immigration, and the Spaniards were not incredibly welcoming to anyone who was not a Spaniard.
Interesting.
Whereas the Portuguese were thrilled to have us there. And that fresh food in Porto and Lisbon and all the fresh fish you can eat, and oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think sometimes you kind of lose sight of the fact that, countries like that, Portugal, I mean, it's all coastline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And it's something that when we were there, we were doing some history stuff. And at one point in time, it was the richest country in the world. And I was befuddled by that. And someone said, well, it's where every bit of trade went through. It all went through the gates of Portugal. And I was like, well, that tracks. That actually makes a lot of sense.
All right, on 4th and 4, Harrington from the gun, able to draw the Jaguars off sides. No. Oh, wow. Nope, didn't. It's going to be against Southern, and now it's going to be 4th and 9. 56 seconds to go. In the last 5 minutes of clock time on this game have taken 3 hours.
Running out of things to talk about.
I thought at one point I was going to get home to see the first pitch in the Reds Diamondbacks game. That game's now been going for half an hour. And I'm dead serious. I thought I might make it home for the opening, for the first pitch.
Top of the third for the Cubs and the Angels. Cubs are up 1-0.
All right, Harrington pumps. Now he's got him. Good job by the defender leaning on the receiver there. That was some savvy defense there by the defender. Number 27, I have no name. Thank you, Overhills. Reds up 2-1 on top of the second, by the way.
Very nice.
Paying attention.
Yeah, for any of our viewers at home, if you ever get a chance, go into Europe, your spectrum of old will. When you go to the castle in Prague up at the top of the hill and it was built in 1100.
Yeah, right.
You're going, okay.
Well, I got married in a church that was just a local church in Germany that was built in 1100.
Yeah. That's
All
awesome.
Right. Overhills with the knee. They're going to have to do that one more time, and that will bring us to the close here. A game that was, better than the score belies for the first half and in parts of the game. I think people look at the score might think that Overhill's really just leaned on Southern. I don't think that tells the tale. Southern's got some things they can build upon. We've talked about it in the past when Southern plays a team that is bigger and at least as athletic, sometimes the offense is part of their undoing. They've got to do some more things, but this is a young group. There's some talent here. You got a quarterback that showed flashes. No, more than flashes. I think he's going to be a really, really, really good quarterback.
Agreed.
And certainly has a lot of room to add to that frame. He's going to get bigger, stronger, and he is very advanced from the neck up right now. So I like what they've got going on with Ben Harrington at quarterback. The defense, those guys flashed. They get to the ball. They're going to have to stop giving up big plays.
Yep.
But, week one, so this isn't necessarily indicative of how things are going to look the rest of the way. Around the rest of the county and the region, a lot of interesting scores coming in. We talked about during the telecast. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Nate, any closing words?
No, I'm been impressed with this Overhills. This second half for Overhills, minus a few little mix-ups, they did real well. I think this could be a dangerous team going into the long stretch through the season. And I think there's a lot, this scoreboard, you kind of hemmed on this that the scoreboard's not quite indicative of how well this game was played. I think the Southern Lee team, I think they're going to be able to hang a good number of wins up this year. So be interested to see, fun to watch. Thank you for tuning in to the NFHS Game of the Week. Who's our sponsor for the post-game show?
That's going to be First Bank.
First Bank.
And just to be clear, we're on the road with Lee County at Apex Friendship next week. Check out our page on the NFHS website, and you'll be able to keep up the whole schedule. We'll be doing this all year. We're running one crew for now. We'll be all over the region. Looking forward to it. It'll be a great year. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we will see you next week. I'm Chris. This is Nate. We are out. Peace.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. My name is Rich Trogdon, and we are